Houston Astros is going to make up one heck of an American League Championship Series. Franceour sends one into left field, and it is up and gone! What a moment for Franceour! Here come the Astros. That ball is gone. A two-run home run for Brantley. The moment of truth has arrived.
Everybody having that little chip on their shoulder, it's a dangerous combination.
What a picture-perfect setting it is. San Diego, California, in the heart of the Gaslamp District, downtown San Diego, in one of the most beautiful ballparks in all of baseball, Petco Park. Normally the home of the San Diego Padres. This year, the home of the American League postseason. We're ready for the 2020 American League Championship Series on TBS. It's presented by Geico. Arriving here to this ALCS, the Houston Astros, their fourth consecutive trip to the ALCS. Meanwhile, the Tampa Bay Rays, their first trip since 2008. Framber Valdez will get the start for the Houston Astros, putting his finishing touches on his warm-ups. You see the Astros in the road grays. They'll be the road team. Meanwhile, Blake Snell, his third consecutive Game 1 start in these playoffs. He was available in the bullpen in Game 5 of the DS. Now he gets the start in Game 1. Hi, everybody. With that, we welcome you from San Diego. Great to have you with us. I'm Brian Anderson. Jeff Franceour is here. Ron Darling. We'll hear from Lauren Shahade in just a moment. Well, guys, let's start with the Tampa Bay Rays. They had the best record in the American League this year, 40 wins, 20 losses in this shortened season, and the Rays just survived a grinder of a series with the New York Yankees. It may be one of the most magical moments we've seen in this postseason.
And really what we saw at the end was the stable of right-handers that came out of that bullpen late. They were just outstanding. Nick Anderson came in, and all of them got at least 2 innings or more of outs. He faced 9 hitters, only gave up the home run to Aaron Judge. And then Pete Fairbanks came in. He closed out an earlier game in that series, and then he faced 8 hitters without giving up a run. And then Diego Castillo, he was outstanding in the series also, and he got the final out. And their hitters had some moments, Frenchie, in the offense, but their best hitter has not got on track.
No, Brandon Lau for them has to get going. He led them in every category this year, over 900 OPS, 2 for 26 with 8 Ks this postseason. They need him to get hot.
This is a bit of a turning tables here situation for these two teams. They met last year in the division series. The Astros were the prohibitive favorites last season, but of course the sign stealing scandal has been hovering a cloud over the Houston Astros all year. I felt like they lost their swagger in the regular season, but somewhere, somehow, Frenchie, they got it back in the postseason.
Yeah, everybody's aware of their past BA, but it doesn't have to be their future. And they're out to prove a point right now. Salt in the ALDS, that offense, 33 runs. They all got 6 guys over 200 plate appearances. They got the experience. They told Dusty Baker, just get us to the playoffs. And without Justin Verlander, they're turning to Framber Valdez tonight.
You know, he's been their ace all season long when you think about it. 6 times he went 7 innings or more. He's
been terrific in the postseason. One of those outings out of the bullpen in the wild card series. Last time, game 2 in the division series. We're ready to roll. Lineup's first pitch. We'll hear from Lauren Shahade when we come back. The Astros blow past the Twins and the A's. Tampa Bay past Toronto and the Yankees. And now we have arrived at the ALCS.
TBS is brought to you by Geico. Happy Geico-ween. You could save even more by bundling home and car insurance. By T-Mobile, connecting fans in all 50 states with America's largest 5G network. T-Mobile is your ticket to the game. And by DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of Major League Baseball. Download the app to try it free today.
A little after 4:35 here, local time, San Diego time. It's a beautiful night for baseball. Shadows could be a factor. Well, this Astros team ready to compete in this ALCS. They've overhauled their pitching staff, but Lauren Shahade, they have very familiar names with big game pedigrees in their lineup.
They do, BA. This is a different team. Only 8 guys remaining from that 2017 squad. And BA, as you said, they want their own legacy. Carlos Correa making no excuses, but he said, hey, look at the numbers. We're talented. The backs of the baseball cards speak for themselves. We know the only way to quiet the critics is to win. And that's exactly what we plan to do in 2020. Kevin Kiermaier saying they know what they've done. We know what they've done. They have to live with that, and we need to play Rays baseball, Brian.
Yeah, the Rays have been quite a story this year. They have been the best team in the American League. Only the Dodgers had a better record in all of Major League Baseball. Dodgers still alive in the National League. That series will start tomorrow with the Braves. Here tonight, it is the Astros and the Rays. And how about the Geico batting order? As turned in by Dusty Baker in his first year as Astro skipper, his 5th team that he has taken to the ALCS. And those familiar names, as we mentioned: Springer, Altuve, Bradley, Bregman, Correa, Tucker, Yuli Gurriel. He's been struggling to bat. Dusty Baker would like to get going. Aledmys Diaz will get the start as the designated hitter. Then Martin Maldonado rounds out the starting 9. Astros were banging away against the Oakland A's at Dodger Stadium. They've got a tough left-hander on the mound, Ron Darling, a former Cy Young Award winner a couple of seasons ago, in Blake Snell.
Yeah, as tough as they get. In his first 4 career games in the postseason, 2 starts, 2 relief appearances, his ERA under 1. But against the Yankees in Game 1, he gave up 3 home runs and 4 runs in 5 innings.
And Jeff Franceour, how about defensively for the Tampa Bay Rays?
Catching him, Mike Zunino, who's been behind the plate a lot of the season and going around the infield, the guy with the big hit. Mike Brasso, Willie Adames, Brandon Lau, Yandy Diaz gets a start, and in center field, the Gold Glover Kiermaier, and then the 2 guys familiar with this outfield, Margot and Renfroe.
Yeah, a couple of former Padres, and this is Renfroe's first start of this postseason after he was only used for 1 at-bat in the division series. All the pieces in place. We are ready to go here. Blake Snell to face George Springer. And the first pitch of the ball game swung on, fouled away. That's going to be in the seats. And away we go. 6-man umpiring crew in place for these playoffs. There's actually a 7th umpire here in San Diego as well. Manny Gonzalez will call the balls and strikes. And Blake Snell, he has been terrific in his Game 1 starts. He was ready to roll in the division series out of the bullpen. Matter of fact, Tampa Bay had both of their extra starters, Charlie Morton and Blake Snell, in the bullpen warming up in the 9th inning. Took them 5 games to take down the New York Yankees. Day off yesterday, and then the Rays are right back at it. Meanwhile, Frenchie, the Astros have had a couple of days, but it's been a bit of a whirlwind because they couldn't leave LA until somebody cleared here in San Diego.
Yeah, but I think they were fine with watching those guys use a lot of their bullpens. Both teams using Garrett Cole for the Yankees, whoever they were going to play.
That's right.
And these guys offensively, they don't care when they're playing. They're just happy to be here.
Snell ready for a 2-1, and the count goes to 3 balls and a strike.
Snell pitching on 5 days rest. He warmed up in Game 5, so a glorified bullpen for him to get ready for this start. And George Springer isn't your grandfather's leadoff hitter. This guy is trying to hit the ball 500 feet.
He's got 17 career postseason home runs. He's on a pretty impressive list as he keeps marching his way towards history. Springer was 1 for 9 in the wild card series and then bounced back, as most of the Astros hitters did, in the division series against Oakland. Springer had 7 hits in the 4 games. He popped 2 homers, 4 runs batted in. Payoff pitch and a shot right to third. That's how the division series ended, on a line drive out. And the guy who helped win that division series makes the play for out number 1.
Yeah, it works a 3-2 count. Snell, a lot of deep counts sometimes, and lines it to left. Springer, as you said, BA, has been hot. 4 hits, Game 1, 2 home runs. He's hitting really well.
Key in this game for Snell, he's got to stay out of those 3 and 2 counts if he wants to be efficient and go deeper in the game.
Jose Altuve with 1 away. See what he's done in this postseason. Again, struggled in the wild card series, then got it turned around in the division series. Hit a couple of home runs. I mean, the question for both of you guys, the celebration by the Rays was a big one. I mean, they stayed here, they partied hard here at Petco Park, and they were dancing and they had a great time. Meanwhile, the Astros celebration after they closed out Oakland was very subdued, almost as if they expected to advance. It was just a couple of handshakes and a few smiles, but much different setting between these two. How fast do you think the Rays can turn that around here, Ronnie?
They've turned it around already. I think the nature of the series dictated what kind of celebration they had. Certainly the Astros kind of knew they controlled that series against the A's. And the game they had here in Game 5 is one of the most historic postseason games you'll ever see. It could have went either way, Yankees or Rays, and Mike Brasso changed it all.
What a moment for him. He gets to start at third base tonight. A lot of platoons with the Rays, and they're going with their heavy right-handed lineup against the left-hander Valdez. And that one's in the air, deep left center field. Altuve is going to watch this one fly, and there she goes. Jose Altuve with a home run in the first inning. And he gives the Astros the early lead tonight. On a 2-1 count, Jose Altuve sends one into the seats in left field.
Frenchie, he didn't do much in the wild card series, but he was smoking hot against the A's.
He was, guys, and with that home run right there, now this postseason, as you see, he gets a fastball in right here, and that's for him. He's going to turn on. This postseason now 4 for 5 with 3 home runs against left-handed pitching.
Wow. Homered in Game 4, the clinching game, and now he's back with a home run in his first at-bat. And you talk about a shot to set his team at ease to get started. This Astros team, they have that bunker mentality like I've never seen. I mean, this is something you might see from the Yankees in postseasons past. But the Astros, they feel like the whole world's against them. And they've just come out raking here in this postseason. They swept the Twins in the 2-game victory in the wild card series, and then winning in 4, losing only once in the series against the Oakland Athletics.
Well, fastball upstairs to Altuve. He got to it, and the Achilles heel. And I mentioned that Snell gave up 3 home runs against the Yankees in Game 1. That's 14 home runs in 61 innings pitched this year by Blake Snell.
1 ball, 1 strike on Michael Brantley. Takes a strike.
Snell did not give up a run in all of his starts in the regular season in the first inning, and now he's given them up back-to-back in these Game 1s.
Yankees got 1 run in the first inning of the division series, and now the Astros on the board.
Yeah, 2 guys that didn't have down years for the Astros. Springer, who you saw lead off, and Michael Brantley hit 300 with an 840 OPS this year. Complete professional. Give you 4 great ABs. Had 2 or 3 big hits off lefties for the A's.
Hit 2 home runs in Game 4 against Oakland. And the 1-2 pitch, and that gets by Zunino. A little half swing, able to check it Bradley. Is it too simple to say this is a great pitching staff in the Rays versus a great offensive team in the Astros? I know there are more layers to that, but that's what it feels like on paper and when you talk to these managers.
Well, I think the other thing, Brian, can't overlook, 7-game series in 7 days. Starters are going to have to go deep into their outings. This can't be the 4 1/3 and bail kind of outings. You're going to have to get the ball, I think, at least into the 6th.
Yeah, and I think for this Astros team, this was a big Game 1 for them coming up. As you said, the emotional win by the Rays, their bullpen being used so much. This is a rested Astros team, and Valdez, who goes deep into the games, the bullpen for the Astros is rested too.
Snell deals a 2-2. Bradley spoils another one foul. Inning started with a line drive out from Springer, and then Altuve sends one out of here. Well, he had a down year this year. He felt the burden maybe more than any of the Astros, it would seem. But he has come out swinging the bat well in the last 2 series. Gave him a huge lift to start this game. Bradley fighting hard, fouls that 96-mile-an-hour fastball away.
Brian, the rub is going to be is that the Rays have a strikeout staff, and they're facing a team that struck out the fewest times of any team in baseball.
And
that's the rub.
And that's exactly what they'll do, as you just saw. Spoil 3-4 pitches, wait for Snell to make a mistake, and then pounce on it.
This is the 9th pitch of the at-bat against Michael Brantley. Already the 19th pitch of the inning for Snell. And he's going to shove one into left field. Opposite field base hit for Michael Brantley. Oh, the Astros pick it up right where they left off in Los Angeles.
Just fastball. He's trying to pitch into Brantley there with that fastball. Bled over the middle of the plate. jammed him just a bit, but he's so strong, just dumped it into left field. He and Yandy Diaz have a chuckle.
That'll bring up Alex Bregman now. And a man on. A run is in on the Altuve home run. Shift is on for Bregman. Well, Lauren, the Astros had a workout yesterday, and the guy who wore out every batting practice pitcher and every machine was this guy, Alex Bregman.
Forever, right? I watched him take BP starting yesterday at 1 local time, and by 4 he was still hitting, and I asked him why. It was because he wanted to simulate live game feel with the shadows. 4:37 p.m. local time was first pitch today. He wanted to train his eyes to what he was going to see, Brian.
He's trying to simulate each inning of every day, and you know the weather doesn't really change here in San Diego, so not a bad plan.
I don't know what's the baseball version of a gym rat, because that's what he is.
Baseball rat. He loves it. In LA he took 2 groups of BP because guys weren't hitting. He just kept hitting. He loves it.
Runner at first, Bradley in the dirt. Zunino is an excellent catcher. Both of these catchers for these teams, Zunino and Maldonado, who are in the starting lineups tonight, block the ball extremely well. Both can run into one and hit the long ball every now and then. It'll be a clinic behind the plate. They both throw it well as well. Maldonado is about as good as it gets. High pitch inning for Snell to get his game 1 started. Believe it or not, as many runs as the Astros scored, it's just the second time they've scored first in the postseason. They've been very comfortable playing from behind. Here's a 2-1. Count evens at 2-2 now.
Bregman, another guy who hits lefties really well. 6 for 15 with 2 homers, career off. Snell over 300 this year. Good matchup for him.
He's been one of those hitters as he goes. Usually the Astros go the last couple of seasons. When he hits, they usually win. That one's in the air, popped him up, shallow right field. And Renfroe will put it away for out number 2. Now, because Tampa Bay did use their A reliever group, the winning version of that, in multiple innings, as Ron pointed out in the open, using Anderson and Fairbanks and Castillo. I mean, those are their guys, Ron. You wonder how effective they'll be, and then how quick Kevin Cash will go to that bullpen here in game 1, knowing he probably needs a reset at some point. Carlos Correa with 2 away.
I think certainly they'll be available, Brian, but they certainly won't be available to the extent they were in game 5, where they're each through 2 innings or more.
Imperative that the Rays get a lot out of Snell tonight. He's not a pitcher, though, that has finished 6 innings this year. He's coming back from an injury himself and dealt with injuries last season. They're very careful with him. But Kevin Cash did point out, you know, we had a plan all year and we protected his innings, but we were building toward the postseason. They had such a fine record. They knew they were going to make the postseason. He had surgery in July of 2019 to remove loose bodies in the elbow. He came back in September last year and then maybe pushed a little too hard before the first spring training, the original spring training, and re-injured himself. I think the shutdown did him well. Runner takes off. Bradley throw down to second, not in time. Boy, Bradley got a huge jump. No chance to throw him out. And a stolen base for the Astros here in the first inning. Tonight's Base Cam presented by T-Mobile, connecting you to America's largest 5G network. Michael Brantley coming into your living room.
Yeah, Brantley, not a guy known for his speed. Obviously kept seeing Snell go to the plate, finally timed one up and went at the right spot to get in scoring position for, to me, their hottest hitter right now in the Astros, and Carlos Correa. Huge series in the ALDS, 11 RBIs.
Talk about a guy bringing the swagger as well. Carlos Correa. He has accepted that role beautifully. Elevated in the lineup a bit. Seen a couple of times batting in the 5 spot.
Well, what happened here? He threw over the prior pitch, and that's a guess by Brantley right there that he's not going to come over twice, and got the big jump.
Got himself into scoring position. First inning, we're just underway. It's been a battle here for Snell. Pitch number 28 of this first inning. Three and one the count.
Ron, I would be shocked if he gives him anything to hit right here. With the lefty Tucker coming up, first base open. Got to be very careful.
You have to be very careful, but it's not like you get a smooth ride with Tucker. He probably was their most consistent hitter all season long.
One of the 2 left-handed hitters in the lineup. Brantley already with a single against the lefty Snell. Tucker due next. 3-1 is right down the middle, and Correa breaks his bat and rolls out to end the inning. So Snell, a long first inning, gives up a home run to Jose Altuve. He's back. The former MVP is alive and well in this postseason. 1-0 Astros. Rays coming up. On a Jose Altuve home run with 1 out in the first. They have the early lead tonight against Kevin Cash and the Tampa Bay Rays in the Geico batting order, with Mike Brasso, the star, into Tampa Bay Rays lore with that home run, the clinching home run in the clinching game against the New York Yankees. And that lineup for Tampa Bay will face left-hander Framber Valdez. He has been excellent in this postseason. One of those outings was a relief outing. He went 5 innings, and then he made a start in Game 2 against Oakland, Ronnie. 5
scoreless innings after Zach Greinke was taken out, and then 7 innings, only 2 runs against the A's.
He's got Maldonado, his battery mate. Brasso digs in, and Valdez's first pitch is in there for a strike. Talk about a guy you wonder how he's going to come down from that moment. A lot of history with Aroldis Chapman, the back and forth. Chapman threw at his head September 1st. There was a lot of beef between the 2 teams, and then he delivers the magical moment of this postseason, and Brasso proved to be the game winner in the 8th inning.
Came in at 100, left at 105, and that'll be one of the biggest home runs hit in the postseason. Certainly the biggest home run that the Rays will have, or have had. And they've had some big ones.
Frenchie, just an incredible backstory as well, from undrafted to this moment and this stage here in the MLB postseason, and now he gets a start with the left-handed starter on the mound tonight.
Yeah, and I love it. Not only does he get a start, Kevin Cash throws him up there right away. You know, and that's great. What a moment for him and really for that team. That's why baseball's so great.
Familiar in that leadoff spot, and a swing and a miss. Down he goes. Good start for Valdez. He strikes out Brasso. Figures to be a lot of ground balls for the Tampa Bay Rays, so infield defense at a premium, huh?
Yeah, Maldonado, Gold Glove behind home plate. And going around, one of the best defenses in baseball. Bregman, Correa, Altuve, Yuli Gurriel over at first. And hitting in the outfield, Brantley in left, Springer in center, and the young superstar up and coming Kyle Tucker in right field.
Frenchie, one of the most athletic infields you've seen.
100%.
Yeah.
These guys get to a lot. Bregman's great at third, but Correa and Altuve in the middle. Those guys get to everything. And Gurriel at first base. If it went for Matt Olson the last 2 years, probably have a couple Gold Gloves himself.
They know they're going to be busy with Valdez on the mound. Randy Arozarena takes a strike. He was the breakout star in the wild card series and then on into the division series. Hitless in his last 2 games, and he's still hitting .444 for the postseason. He homered in each of the first 3 games in the division series against the Yankees. And a wave and a miss. Defensive swing there, and Valdez starts it with back-to-back Ks.
Well, Valdez has done straight away, Frenchie, is he's pounded the right-handed hitters in, and then it's gone away either with that fastball upstairs or a curveball too.
And Ron, I think one thing that you look at is they've never really had a chance to see Valdez in person. Huge advantage for the pitcher, But when you watch Valdez, he's got a good sinker, but he can paint right-handed hitters in at 93 all day, and I think it really surprises a lot of these right-handed hitters.
Here comes the lefty, Brandon Lau. This is a bat the Rays are desperate to get going here in this championship series, and he waves and misses a one right down the middle. Lau 0 for 18 in the series against the Yankees, 2 for 26 in the postseason.
Predominantly pitched him up. The Yankees pitchers did. He'll get some pitches down in the strike zone from Valdez.
Oh! On the edge, 0-2 the count. Valdez just poured him in right now. He's thrown 10 pitches, 8 of them for strikes. Just painting with that fastball. And quickly has Lau 0-2. Seems like when you're slumping, you're always at an 0-2 count, doesn't it? Not that you'd know, Jeff.
Nah.
And a swing and a miss. How about that start? Framber Valdez, 3 up, 3 down, 3 strikeouts. Following the Altuve homer in the first, the Astros off and running in this ALCS. They lead 1-0. Houston coming to bat.
Want to stay up to date? Hey Siri, show me the MLB postseason schedule.
Boy, what a start for the Houston Astros. They get a home run from Altuve, and Framber Valdez electric in the first inning with 3 strikeouts. Here we go to the second. It'll be Kyle Tucker to start it for the Astros. Yuli Gurriel to follow, and then Aledmys Diaz. Blake Snell, a 29 pitch first inning, the most pitches he's thrown in a first inning this whole season, regular season and postseason. And Ron, looked like he struggled with his breaking ball in that first inning, couldn't command it.
Yeah, he was trying to establish that. 14 breaking balls he threw in the first, only 4 strikes, 6 changeups, no strikes.
The 2 hits he allowed were on the fastball, the home run by Altuve, and then Brantley with a 2-strike single. His 3rd home run of this postseason. Jose Altuve, and he's homered in back-to-back games now. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kyle Tucker. He might not be the most familiar name in this Astros lineup outside of Houston, but I think it's safe to say he's been their most consistent, maybe their best hitter all year.
Yeah, him and Josh Reddick were the only 2 in that lineup that didn't hit a home run out in LA in the ALDS, but all he did, Brown, hit 400.
Yeah.
Sprays ball to all fields.
Saw a shot of Dusty Baker there. Great to see Dusty back in uniform. Tucker hits a high fly ball. Coming in a few steps, Hunter Renfroe. And there is out number 1. A reminder that 1 in 5 kids in the U.S. may not be able to afford to play Little League this year. For every text of Little League to 313131, T-Mobile will donate $1 to their Little League call-up grant program so our kids can keep playing ball. Home of the Padres here at Petco Park. Cardboard cutouts. Kids well represented. They've been great hosts here. Weather is ideal. We miss the fans greatly, but I've been impressed with the competition, the way these guys have grinded in these games. Most of the players talking about walking out of the clubhouse and up the steps to the dugout. That's where you kind of miss the buzz, the feel of the crowd. But once the game starts, they're fully in it. And we've seen some outstanding play so far in this MLB postseason. Struggling hitter in Yuli Gurriel.
Yeah, I was watching his front foot, talking to Dusty Baker today. He said, got to find a way. He's out front a lot right now. They're really trying to get him to put that foot down easy, weight back. He's had great numbers in the postseason and really kind of that guy for them. He's been dropped down in the lineup now.
Just 2 for 23 in the postseason, has just the 1 RBI. Been a run producing machine. This is his 52nd career postseason game. He's got 25 career postseason homers for the Astros and 5 home runs in those 51 games prior. Son of the great Lourdes Gurriel, a Cuban legend. 1-2 pitch. Got in on his hands. Foul territory. Long run. Renfroe makes the play. He knows this outfield as well as anyone after his years with the San Diego Padres. Traded to the Rays and finally able to get a start here in the San Diego portion of this postseason.
Had to go a long way for this baseball, and the ball, he had to slow up a little bit. 3 putouts already for Renfroe in right field.
You see he's wearing a microphone for us. We appreciate him doing that. We'll hear from Hunter Renfroe throughout this one. He's hit some of the longest home runs in this ballpark, by the way. Strike 1 to Aledmys Diaz. Frenchie, the one big change for Dusty Baker. Diaz in as the designated hitter, which keeps Tucker in the lineup in the field and puts Reddick on the bench to start this one against the left-hander Snell.
Yeah, and I would imagine at some point a righty reliever comes in. You'll see Reddick come off for Diaz, but he had one big hit in Game 3 against Luzardo when they put him in there for the DH. Paid off for Dusty.
Snell's body language looks completely different here in the second inning than it did in the first.
29 pitch first inning. And trying to make this a quick one, and he does. 1, 2, 3 inning, picks up his first strikeout. Blake Snell, the bottom of that Astros order, takes care of him easily in order in the second. Tampa Bay down 1-0 coming to bat. Petco Park, San Diego, and our aerial coverage provided by Goodyear, celebrating the endless pursuit of forward momentum. Goodyear, more driven. Great to have you with us. This American League Championship Series on TBS. Brian Anderson with Jeff Francoeur, Ron Darling, Lauren Shahadi. And we head to the second, bottom of the second inning. Tampa Bay coming to bat. Yandy Diaz will lead off. Diaz, Renfroe, and Adames for the Rays. And Valdez, after striking out the side in the first inning, back to work. 11 pitches in the first inning, 9 for strikes.
How about this stat? He had 2 more strikeouts on the curveball in that first inning. Struck out 60 hitters on his curveball this year. That was number 1. Second, Tyler Glasnow with 58.
As the numbers jump off the page across the board for Framber Valdez as Diaz takes a ball. And talking to Dusty Baker before the game, I mean, he kind of dropped jaws on our conference call today, asking him for a comp. He goes, you know who he reminds me of is Fernando Valenzuela, not necessarily with the screwball and the stuff, but the moxie on the mound at age 26.
All I could think of is Framber Valdez, Fernando Valenzuela, Frankie Viola. FV might be the postseason.
That's right. He was just likening it to when he was a player and Fernando was going through Fernando mania. You know, they regularly as players went to Tommy Lasorda and said, look, forget that notion to go with the veteran and the more experience. This guy, talking about Fernando, is ready for the bright lights, and that's the same way he feels about Valdez. He drops in a hook for a strike right there. 3-2 on Yandy Diaz.
3-1 hook. He took a little off it just to get in the zone. It's almost seems sometimes that it's a walk through the park with Valdez. He'll toss that baseball in the air. He'll have a smile on his face. Shouldn't be this easy, but it's been that easy for Framber.
And Yandy Diaz steps out. I mean, think about where he was just 3 years ago. He's 23 years of age, 2017 in A-ball. Imagining that he would be in a spot like this, pitching game 1 of the American League Championship Series 1 year later. He was an older pitcher in single A.
And the more he pitches, the more confidence Dusty Baker is getting in this guy.
3-2. Down and in. He missed with it. And the first base runner. Valdez into the stretch. Hunter Renfroe's coming up, wearing a microphone for us. Let's see what we've heard so far.
100% he swings right here. 100%. Yeah, right to him. Oh boy, Bruce.
How come you guys didn't say that? We got to go to the player on the field. I mean, he's all over it.
Get him a tie.
I don't know, but I'm loving his socks right now.
Those,
got a little raise on them.
The show socks for Hunter Renfroe. He had a moment in this postseason. Oh yeah, they got fans. Bullseye is up for Renfroe. Got the catcher's mask on. I love it. That is great. He's got a lot of fans still here in San Diego. Hit a bunch of home runs in his career as a Padre. Had a signature moment for the Rays in the wild card series. Hit a grand slam in game 2 of that wild card series as Tampa Bay swept Toronto. But then only one at bat in the San Diego side of this postseason. Gets the start today.
When you saw Valdez strike out the side in the first, Ron, you talked about Astros, the least amount of strikeouts in baseball. The other side, the Rays, they have the most this year in baseball, and I think that's why you're seeing Valdez get the start in game 1 with this strikeout stuff, feeling that his pitcher can give him 7 innings.
With any base runner, he is an instant double play ball. Gets more ground balls than any other pitcher in the American League. I did notice, Ronnie, you'll love this. Before the game, you can see the area in front of home plate and how much darker it is, the contrast between the area around the lines. But they put the heavy water on the area in front of home plate. That's not just for Valdez. It's a neutral site. They've been doing that every game here. Pitchers love that. And a swing and a miss. Down he goes. Valdez with a strikeout. As he gets Renfroe, that's his 4th strikeout. All of his outs are Ks thus far.
Again, that fastball that he throws inside has a little tail and it'll drop just subtly. 2 seams out of the fingers of Valdez, and he gets the swing and miss from Renfroe.
4 Ks, 1 walk.
Tampa Bay hasn't even fouled off a ball. No balls in play yet.
Here's Willie Adames. Adames, the Rays shortstop. Good block back there by Maldonado. The Rays do want to run. They're a running team. They really started that the last 6 weeks of the season, but Diaz is not one of those players, and he's been dealing with a hamstring injury as well, so pretty much grounded. Excellent play by Maldonado. He's one of the best. Gold Glover. Can pick it, can block it, and can really throw. And maybe what he does best of all is guiding pitchers through starts. Game plan. He's always giving you fist pumps, and you know as a pitcher he's in it with you every step of the way. 1-1 to Adames. On the ground. Correa to second, out there. Altuve's turn, and it's picked, and it's a double play. Yuli Gurriel, a nice backhanded pick, and there's the double play ball. It goes 6-4-3. Correa, Altuve, Gurriel. Valdez out of the inning. We head to the 3rd in the ALCS. 1-0 Houston. Nothing Astros. 31 years separating these managers. The 71-year-old Dusty Baker, 42-year-old Kevin Cash, and these 2 managers in an analytics world. Both of these franchises are heavy on the analytics, but they bring the human element to it. A lot of fun talking with these guys. Dusty Baker bringing his 5th different team to the postseason, which is a Major League Baseball record. Martin Maldonado leading the way for Houston. Snell coming back with an impressive 2nd inning. 13 pitches, retired the side in order.
Talked to Dusty Baker before the game. We ended up talking about grapes in Sacramento and Mexican food in San Diego.
Would you expect anything else?
Well, he has been away from the game. Last with the Nationals. That's in the air to center field. Kiermaier has got 3 Gold Gloves. That's easy for him. No problem And there is out number 1. Lauren Shahadi, she's got more on the 2 skippers in this ALCS.
Well, the difference between Dusty and Cash was illustrated to perfection today during batting practice, BA. Kevin Cash hitting live infield to his team, sweating, yelling, and Dusty Baker sitting down, cool as a cucumber next to Lance McCullers, cracking up, talking about music, both relating to their players just in different ways.
Well, I don't know if Dusty's got it in him anymore in the 70s to be hitting fungos, but I thought it was interesting. You know, last year I saw Dusty in San Francisco during the season, and he kind of said to me, I want one more chance. I want one more chance at this thing. And so glad that when everything happened like it did for the Astros guys, they turned to a guy like Dusty who they knew could stabilize everything in Houston.
He certainly has. He's done just that. He was a great player. He was the MVP of a championship series. It's a wild swing by Springer. Dusty Baker, 1977 NLCS MVP and then a World Series champion with the Dodgers, and he knows about being a star player. He knows about being on a championship team. Been to the postseason as a manager as well, and just kind of the perfect guy. And I love what he said. He goes, you know, these guys kept telling me they could hit and we're going to hit, and Dusty, don't worry about it, we're going to hit. And then we almost didn't make the playoffs. And then I said, all right, I'm not impressed, so do something. And then they have certainly done what they said they were going to do. As Springer rips one into left field, a base hit. He's hit 2 line drives. That's his first hit of the game. Seeing it well once again.
Yeah, second ball he's hit hard tonight. First one lined out to third. That one between the hole.
And now speed on the bags. And Snell back into the stretch. Jose Altuve homering in his last time up. 3 consecutive games where he has homered. Games 3 and 4 of the DS, and popped a 2-1 pitch out to left in the first inning.
Brantley ran against Snell. Let's see if Springer is as aggressive also.
Hawks a strike in there. Altuve has great numbers against the Rays. These 2 teams did not play each other this season. You stayed only in your division and the opposite league's division. He has been destroying left-handed pitching in this postseason. He's hit 9 straight against Tampa Bay. He's hit for a .333 average against the Tampa Bay Rays in those 9 consecutive games going back into the last couple of years.
Well, remember in the ALDS last year he was 7 for 20 with 3 home runs and 5 RBI. So that scares you a little if you're the Rays. Altuve's trying to get off to a quick start.
And if you're Snell, you got to be careful now. He's 6 for 16 with 4 home runs in his career against Blake Snell.
That'll get your attention.
Yeah.
4 homers of your 6 hits.
I think
he knows it as well as anyone, Blake Snell.
And I think what Lauren was saying though with Kevin Cash, what a job he's done for the Rays to push all the right buttons, to know, let all the guys buy into what he's going to do. And look, he's been around a long time, and the other day he said that was hands down the greatest moment he's ever been a part of in baseball. Saying a lot for a guy that's been around.
Has a couple of rings, does Cash. And a pickoff at first. Diaz fires to second, and Springer is going to be cut down. Officially, that'll go as a caught stealing. Springer was on the move on the first movement from Snell. That's a key out here in the 3rd inning. Now 2 men are gone. Base is empty.
But Ron, they guessed once, got it right. Guessed that time, got it wrong.
Well, very similar, right? He had thrown over against Brantley and he went the next pitch. He threw over against Springer. He decided to go the next pitch.
Stealing bases is a difficult order against Blake Snell. Just 1 successful stolen base all year. And there's a defensive swing by Altuve. Had him fooled on that one, and it's 1-2.
When Snell's on the top of his game, these are the kind of swings you'll see. Late movement, pitching in, and that slider down and in.
Feel like we saw it in the 2nd inning, starting to see it now. 1st inning, we didn't really see any of those swings.
Working quickly here. Back in there he goes, and a swing and a foul. All right, Frenchie, take a look at StatCast, powered by Google Cloud. The home run by Altuve.
Yeah, 3rd home run this postseason against lefties. See, 98.6 exit velocity, and here down left field, we saw it the other, you don't have to hit it far, you just got to get it in the air and the ball's going.
It's in a 1-2 count this time. Snell misses, trying to crowd Altuve. Two and two. In the air, center field down for a base hit. Well, he didn't find the barrel, but he muscles one into center field for a hit. Altuve's 2 for 2. It's a 2-strike single with 2 outs, and the inning is alive for Michael Brantley. How about that? Second most all-time among second basemen now, 64 career postseason hits.
And that's his second or third hit this postseason to up the middle to right field. Talked earlier, Dusty told us in the last series how he was kind of opening up early, spinning, starting to see him stay close a little more and driving it everywhere.
Robbie Alomar's #1 on that list, by the way, if you're wondering. 71 postseason hits for a second baseman. What a great player he was. Bradley looks at one low. Bradley with a 2-strike hit his last time up. 9-pitch battle with Snell. Had a single to the opposite field, stole a base. 10 seasons with the Indians, and coming to the end of a contract here with the Houston Astros. His second season. Been a great find for Houston.
Very modest lead by Altuve at first.
Again, we talk a lot about the core hitters for the Astros that have been there a long time. As you said, BA, 2-year, $32 million deal, bought Brantley in. 3-time All-Star now, 3 years in a row for him, 17, 18, and 19. As I said, really kind of the guy in the middle of this order that kind of gets everything going.
There'll be a lot of suitors for his services this offseason. You can guarantee. In the air to left field. Pretty good wood on it. But that's going to stay in as Margot is there to make the play. Blake Snell puts up back-to-back zeros. 1-0 Houston. Tampa Bay coming up. Bottom of their order against Framber Valdez. You're watching the 2020 American League Championship Series on TBS. It's presented by Geico. Manuel Margot ready to lead off. Framber Valdez, impressive 2 innings. Surrendered a walk to start the second. Got a strikeout and a double play ball to end it. Had an 11-pitch first inning, just 14 in the second, and a ton of swings and misses. Rays put one in play, and it ended up as a double play to end the inning from Adames. So it's Margot, Kiermaier, and Zunino. 1-0 Houston on an Altuve homer in the first. Got an easy way about him, does Framber Valdez. Off to a terrific start, getting this Game 1 start in a championship series. His first outing of the postseason was out of the bullpen, but he went 5 shutout in that game. And then started Game 2 of the division series. Was excellent against the Athletics. Margot on a hop. Correa with that big arm eases one over to first, and there is out #1. Moments ago, Lauren Shahadi caught up with Astros skipper Dusty Baker.
Dusty, just one ball in play for Valdez. How's he keeping them off balance?
Well, you know, he's sinking it away. He got a great breaking ball, and then he'll come inside every once in a while. And tell you, you know, I'm impressed because usually the first couple innings are usually his worst. And you know, he hit his breaking ball right away. He's not over amped sometimes like he gets, and you know, he's showing great poise and composure.
Is Altuve starting to stay closed and drive it, Dusty?
I'll say. I mean, you know, like Altuve, when he starts getting hits, he can get them all kind of ways. He can hit it out. He can get a little infield hop, chopper, and you saw him get a jam shot right then. So it sure feels good to see Jose starting to swing again.
Appreciate it, Dusty.
All right.
All right, thanks to Dusty Baker. Kevin Kiermaier pouncing on the first pitch. Doubles down the right field line. First hit of the ball game for the Tampa Bay Rays.
Remember, Kiermaier's big hit against the Yankees came in Game 3 against Tanaka. A hanging breaking ball first pitch. Another hanging breaking ball here from Valdez.
Yeah, that was a 3-run home run against Tanaka. And so a base runner in scoring position for the first time for the Rays. Here is Mike Zunino. Big power from the Rays catcher. He's got a couple of home runs in this postseason. Hit one here in the division series at Petco Park in San Diego. Yeah, 14 hits the entire season, including the postseason, but 10 of those are extra base hits. He makes them count, but he hit for a low average, strikes out a lot, but he is a power threat at the plate.
Yeah, and they're only hitting 188 with runners in scoring position this postseason. Haven't done a great job. But one thing they did do, guys, during the ALDS against the Yankees, 11 home runs. So you find a way versus Valdez, 2 home runs he gave up in LA in the ALDS. They got to find a way to get a big hit here or there, maybe a long ball.
Feels like this entire postseason defined by the long ball this year.
Tampa Bay's hit 14 home runs in 7 games, which is 78% of their runs are via the home run in the post.
And you get a feeling facing a guy like Valdez, you're not going to string 4 or 5 hits together. You got to have a big one.
Zunino, hot one on the ground, foul. Normally you get into, teams that out homer their opponent. The stats are you take them for what they're worth.
Yeah.
But this year in the postseason, 22-1 is the record. The team that out homers their opponent wins the game. 22 out of 23 games so far this postseason. And overall, the entire picture of the postseason, 50% of the runs are coming from the long ball. Kiermaier with good speed out at second base. A 1-out double. Shift is on for the Astros in the infield. And the 1-2 is a little bit outside. Didn't miss by much.
You can see Valdez, when he thinks the ball's a strike, he'll walk about 4 or 5 steps towards the home plate umpire. But I think Manny Gonzalez was correct in that call, kind of went around the plate.
And Maldonado was set up kind of in. Maybe if he sets up out over the plate, he gets the call, but had to reach too much for it.
So 2-2 now. 9th place hitter in the Rays lineup. There goes Kiermaier. And the pitch is outside, throw to third, and it's in time. Maldonado with a bullet to third base. Kiermaier thinks he's safe. He's asking his dugout to look at the replay. Boy, what a throw by Maldonado. T-Mobile base cam as Kiermaier comes sliding into third. Oof. Close one.
Ball beat him. Tag was slapped down. Did he get him before he hit the base? I would say yes.
Did he tag the ground first or the hand? That's the question. Ooh, that's going to be close. They are going to challenge this. So there will be a replay here. I don't know if there's enough evidence to overturn because the call on the field is out.
Yes.
He definitely, the glove hits the dirt. It's the matter of does it get to the hand or not. I don't know that you're going to be able to tell.
When I saw it in real time, the ball beat him, but that doesn't matter anymore. It looked like his hand had gotten underneath, but simultaneously, does he get some leather on him?
Right there.
I have to say yes.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I think the tough thing there is, look, early in the count, And
out is the call. Now that was going to be tough to overturn. What a great throw by Maldonado. Kiermaier got a huge jump.
And he did. And like I said, you got to be aggressive. I understand that. Early in the count to get to third, Ron, with 1 out, I understand it.
Yeah.
Late in the count like this, a guy with his speed, he's going to score on a hit.
I mean, watch how quick Maldonado comes out behind the hitter and throws a strike.
Now Zunino pops it up. Drifting into shallow right field. This will turn into a 3-batter inning as well for Framber Valdez. Rays had a runner at second, one out. Big caught stealing. Maldonado cuts down a would-be base stealer. And through the first 3 innings, Valdez has faced the minimum. 3 in the books in San Diego. 1-0 Astros. Nothing Astros. Kevin Kiermaier trying to push the envelope a little bit. Gets thrown out at third base on a call that went to a review, was confirmed. And so here we go to the 4th inning. Strike 1 in there to Alex Bregman. It'll be Bregman, Correa, Kyle Tucker due up against Blake Snell in this 4th inning.
Bregman's starting to get his swing back some. Had a good start to the season. Went on the IL with a hammy and came back and really had a tough 3 weeks trying to get it figured out. But as you saw by those postseason numbers, starting to get back to the Alex Bregman we've seen.
Had him out in front. 1-2 the count. 42 games this year for Bregman, with that hamstring injury sitting him down for 18 or thereabouts. He's been one of the great clutch performers in the postseason in this run for the Astros. The World Series champs in 2017, but their 4th consecutive trip to the ALCS. 2-2 pitch. Astros scored 33 runs on 46 hits in that division series against Oakland. They found their mojo offensively. A team that struggled most of the year. Bregman turns on one, left field line, and it is foul. That was a hot rocket off the bat of Alex Bregman, but he just got out ahead of it, and the count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes. That went in there with some sparks.
Not fouled by a lot.
Bregman's got 11 postseason home runs already in his career. Off 9 different pitchers, by the way, and 8 of those 9 pitchers have been all-stars. Delivers against the game's best when the lights are the brightest.
Yeah, Bregman's so quick on the inside. You see Snell trying to come in, speed him up a little bit, but then he came back with that slider for Bregman, the one he hit. Such good discipline too, though. 119 walks last year. Finished second in the MVP voting.
Going through all of them. Zunino lands on one. Snell deals. And on the 9th pitch of the at-bat, Bregman sends one into the gap left center. And he's thinking about 2. He'll hit the brakes. And back to first he goes. Line drive single into left center field. Bregman with a base hit to start the 4th. Moments ago, Lauren caught up with Kevin Cash, the Rays manager.
Kevin, did you think Kiermaier's hand got under the tag?
It looked like it from our angle, but then when you saw the replay, it's probably justified that it was really close to turnover.
Blake's body language changed from the 1st to the 2nd. What have you noticed?
Well, he's found a little bit better rhythm. The pitch count got up really high, and now he's trying to reset it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Boy, he has had a lot better rhythm. Every pitcher who starts a game wants to find that tempo and rhythm and get on a roll with his pitches. Snell not quite there yet.
Here is Correa now. Long battle with Bregman resulting in a hit, and Correa takes a ball.
Frenchie, Snell's trying to pitch inside to the right-handed hitters, but he's not throwing it for strikes. If you don't throw a fastball for strikes to right-handed hitters, they'll just lay off it.
Yeah, and look, it's okay to come in and miss in sometimes, but as you said, he's missing in every single time. So guys are shutting down on that inside pitch right now.
We asked Kevin Cash about the fact that Snell really didn't complete a 6th inning this season, this truncated season, and he was quick to point out, he goes, well, it's not like I didn't want him to complete 6 innings, but his pitch count, the high volume of pitches through 5 innings really necessitated having him come out of the game, especially coming back from an injury last year, so there weren't many opportunities for him to be left out there. And we got a pitch count riding up high here. 67, 68 already on the board for Blake Snell.
And that's what Cash said. He said, you look up in the 5th inning, 85, 90 pitches. And today you've seen a Brantley, what, 9-10 pitch at bat in the first. The battle Bregman just put up there, what, 7-8 pitches. So these guys are working them. And then not only are they working them, they're finding a way to get on base.
Yeah.
Bregman with a 9-pitch at bat, resulting in a hit. Brantley had a 9-pitch at bat, resulted in a hit. Astros with 5 hits already. 2 balls and a strike on Correa. Red hot hitter at the plate for the Astros. And he sends one down the left field line, foul. He's just swinging the bat with so much confidence right now. But the bat that's been doing all the damage was broken his last time up. He grounded out to short. I think he was using Martin Maldonado's bat.
And he is again. You can see the name on it. He went in there and told Martin right away, I need another one, pal.
Sorry, I'm getting into your stock.
Yep.
No problem, he says.
You always get a new box right before the postseason.
Yeah,
So
it's no issue. Believe me.
I'll tell you something that's big too right now. You still got Bregman on first. You got a double play candidate. Kiermaier in center field on that last hit by Bregman, maybe the only center fielder in baseball that gets to that ball quick and gets it into second and keeps Bregman at first. Outstanding speed and route.
A lot of ground to cover here in San Diego. You got essentially 2 center fielders out there now, with Kiermaier in center and Margot, who is a center fielder by trade but plays left field. He played almost exclusively center field as a Padre in this ballpark for a few years before he was traded. Full count. Carlos Correa, second batter of the inning. Bregman the runner at first, and that is ball 4. The Astros with the first 2 on here in the 4th inning. Nobody out for Kyle Tucker. Gives us a chance to remind you that the MLB app is the one place to get everything for your favorite team's chase to the pennant, including video highlights, pitch tracking, and much more. Download the MLB app today for the postseason in your pocket. Visit to the mound. Terrific pitching coach of these Tampa Bay Rays, Kyle Snyder.
he was good luck too. Every time he came out for a mound visit, it seemed like good things happened right after.
Thing about Snell, and if you were with us in his prior starts here in the postseason, he's a strikeout pitcher, no question about that. But the one pitch he's got in his bag to get the ground ball is the changeup. But the changeup has eluded him so far today, Ronnie.
The changeup he has not been able to throw for strikes. He has not really showed that curveball. Very rarely that he's thrown the curveball also early on in this game. Think about it. 14 hitters he's faced already. Only one strikeout.
High pitch count in the first. He's already at 14 here in the fourth inning and still nobody out. And the first two have reached.
And the right guy up in Kyle Tucker, 5 for 6 with runners in scoring position this postseason.
Tucker, one of the two lefties in the lineup. He and Bradley. Rays have two lefties in the lineup against the left-handed Valdez. Shift is on. Tucker, a dead pull hitter, and he sends one a line of right to Adames, who steps on the bag for a double play. Hitting right into that shift. Adames was there. That ball had some knuckleball action off the bat. It had a little wobble on its way out. Adames makes a play and steps on the bag for two.
What I tell you about Kyle Snyder? He has good luck when he goes out there for his visit. But this is a bullet. And Adames, he knew what he was going to do before he even caught the ball.
Oh, as close as you can get, but certainly the foot on the bag first. Blake Snell knows that's a big out. Line drive out turns into a double play. 2 outs. Correa the runner at first now. And here is Yuli Gurriel. You see a swing like that, Jeff, and it just tells you everything you need to know about Gurriel right now. He's just not feeling it.
Well, and Dusty told us, look, you talked about his dad, what a legend he is. They've been sending video to him, his brother, you know, trying to figure out to get him going, because this has been the one spot. The bottom part of the Astros order, guys, hitting $127 this postseason. So they have to be able to get a little bit of production.
In the dirt, Zunino blocks it. Good play back there. That keeps Correa at first. Yuli Gurriel's 36 years of age. I mean, he's played a lot of baseball in his career, professional baseball, starting in Cuba. And as you mentioned, his father was a Cuban baseball legend, gold medal champion, and a manager after his playing career. As good as he's been throughout his career, he is in a battle right now. 1-1, and he's late. Misses on a fastball.
He's got a long swing working right now. That's what he's got.
Well, you get into the point where you just start. It's even, you know, where you start to guess a little bit. You're trying to figure yourself out. And on the other side, if you're Snell right here, you're caught a big break this inning. You had first and second. Guy smoked one. Now you're one pitch from getting out of this inning.
Could be a turning point. Here's a 1-2. Gurriel flew out weakly to right his first time up. 20th pitch of the inning coming here for Blake Snell. But that double play is looming large here. Bregman did all he could, by the way. He was hustling back to the bag. It was just bad luck for Kyle Tucker. Hit it right on the nose, but right at Adames on the shift. A tip of the hat to the analytics department on that one. They had a man there. 2-2 now. Snell deals. This is inside. Now it's 3-2.
And even through this whole stretch for him, though, one of the tough things to do is to strike out. Gurriel, last 3 seasons, 60-something strikeouts each year, which is amazing when you think about the pitchers now and the high velocity, and he can put the ball in play.
Well, Dusty has no issue sticking with him. He plays great defense at first. He gives long at bats, and he can turn it around in a dime, and he turned it around there and pulled it foul.
A lot of loud contact in this game so far by the Houston Astros,
including some line drive outs, one by that man Tucker. Springer lined out. Full count. 2 outs in the inning. Correa will get a head start with a pitch, and Snell a courtesy. You can almost see Correa going, really? That was literally 1 step off the bag.
Sometimes pitchers throw the first because they're not quite ready to throw home.
Right. A new sign, perhaps.
Yeah.
Let's start over.
I didn't feel right there.
He'll be running. 3-2, 2 outs. There he goes. Gurriel takes a ball. Well, Snell wanted that call, but it was low. Gurriel, even though he's struggling, he works a walk. Close.
You know, Ron, when I see a hitter take a pitch like that, you almost feel like he got fooled.
Beat.
Yep, and got away with it. I would say that's a tough pitch to take. 3-2.
Didn't miss by much, but did miss, and Gurriel is on, and the inning is extended here for Snell. He's given up a hit and 2 walks thus far. And here's Aledmys Diaz, strikeout victim in the 2nd inning. It's the lone K for Blake Snell thus far, who's been a big strikeout performer in his career. Excellent play by Zunino.
Man, I talked about the struggle, the bottom part of the Astros lineup, guys. Good block behind the dish. But what this does, even if the Astros don't score this inning, the fact of the matter is you're close to flipping that lineup over back to the top, and you're only in the fourth right now.
And it would be third time through against Snell. Getting a good look. Diaz. And that's 2-0 now. Snell is swimming in the deep waters right now. He's been great with runners in scoring position this postseason. They have yet to connect for a hit off of him in those situations, but the pitch count is becoming a factor. Correa and Gurriel, the runners. 2-0 to Ledmes Diaz.
Good change up there behind in the count. That was a money pitch by Snell.
It's only the third changeup he's thrown for a strike, Ronnie.
It's been a battle. Listen, if you don't control the count as a pitcher, you will have some good games, but they'll be very rare. And in the postseason, probably non-existent.
And not facing the Yankees lineup he did last start, and now this Astros lineup.
Jose Altuve with a home run in the first inning off Snell. Astros got their offense jump started tonight. Meanwhile, Framber Valdez on the mound for Houston has faced the minimum through the first 3 innings, giving up a hit and a walk, but a double play and a caught stealing have wiped out the base runners. Hitters count for Diaz. 2-1 on the ground. Back to Snell. He bobbled it, got a hustle, and Snell's not going to have a play. Hit the heel of his glove, and everybody's safe. The Astros have him loaded up in this 4th inning.
Boy, he had to think to himself, all I have to do is make one pitch to get out of this. He did, and then he didn't field his position.
Now it goes an infield hit for Ledmes Diaz.
Ron, this looks like one of those where you almost think the ball's coming back a lot harder, and he kind of panics a little bit.
Yeah, it's like a changeup, and I think he thought he had it in his glove, but then realized he didn't. Too late.
And bounced far enough away where he couldn't recover in time.
When it hit his glove, he thought it went to the third base side. Instead, it was right behind him.
Well, now the Astros a moment here with their 9th place hitter coming up, Martin Maldonado. This is a spot where you've got to be aware of that first pitch, because you know Maldonado is ready to pounce if he gets one he can handle.
And he had a pretty good at bat his first time up. Fouled him off and then hit a deep fly to Kiermaier in center.
They are loaded up with 2 away. A walk and a single with 2 outs has loaded it up. And Maldonado takes a breaking ball down and in.
Well, that double play is looming large if Snell somehow, some way can get out of this inning.
2 walks, 2 hits in the inning. Tucker's line out to Adames, turning into 2. They're all ready to run with a crack of the bat. And Maldonado into right field, right at Renfroe, and he's got it. And a wipe of the brow for Blake Snell and the Tampa Bay Rays. But the Astros keep the pitch count going north. 1-0 Houston. Rays are coming to bat.
We need a double play.
Guys, that's the second time he's called it tonight. We got to find out what his numbers are for the lottery tonight for the 3 of us.
I didn't know you guys talk so much in the outfield and right fielders. I thought you were just figuring out your batting average the whole time you're out there.
Talking to himself. We appreciate Hunter Renfroe. Here's Brasso. First ball swinging, a bouncer to Correa, and 1 pitch and 1 out. Meanwhile, the story for the Astros is on the mound right now in Framber Valdez. I mean, he has been efficient. This is just the 2nd time through the batting order. Faced 9 batters first time around with a hit and a walk.
First time through, 37 pitches, 24 strikes. Just outstanding. 4 Ks. And this is a guy that gets better as the game goes on. So he started off hot.
Astros lost Justin Verlander this year. He tried hard as Arozarena takes a ball. Verlander is going to require Tommy John surgery. Astros most indispensable player. And he tried to come back. It was a forearm strain initially. Fell short final week of the regular season, and then the announcement that he's going to require surgery. That was the ace on their staff. As Arozarena, big swing and a miss at a curveball. Garrett Cole left for free agency. Wade Miley to Cincinnati to free agency. As you see, Framber Valdez through the lineup, and he gets better as he goes. To your point, Ronnie, that's a rare number, third time through for any starting pitcher in baseball these days.
Well, Dusty Baker said sometimes it takes him a while to get that curveball going, to find the right slot and zone. Well, tonight, first inning on, we've seen him have complete control of that curveball.
1-2 pitch. Arozarena fouls it away. And not many secrets up there, but it's elusive, everything he throws.
Well, he's got movement on everything that he throws. There's 16-mile-an-hour difference between that fastball and the sinking fastball and that curveball. Throws strikes, goes after the hitters, works quickly, all the things you want out of a pitcher.
And this is guys where you, as a hitter, you watch film, you prepare for this, and you might just see, hey, this is a two-pitch guy, fastball, curveball. Well, as you said, Ron, he's got the sinker. He can also paint in with that heater at 95, and then he can add up subtract off that curveball, which really gives him 4 pitches in 2.
So Maldonado telling him make sure he keeps his arm up, don't drop it.
Wants the fastball here. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and Arozarena into center field. That ball's hit well. That ball's got some travel, and it is gone. Randy Arozarena, the fastball killer, just got one and did not miss. And his magical postseason continues. We are tied at 1 as Arozarena with a 2-strike home run.
Now, this guy continues to bring the thunder this postseason with some huge home runs. Here gets a fastball out over the zone and just lines it to right center.
Just a flat sinker, Frenchie, up in the strike zone.
He's hit 4 home runs now in his last 6 postseason games. This is a guy who hit 7 in the month of September. Wasn't really a big part of their offense until late August and September, and man, he is one of the top hitters in this postseason. Little swinging bunt right there by Lau. Tough play. Valdez throw, and it's a bad one. He throws it away. Lau content to retreat to first base. The Astros had it backed up well, and that's going to be an infield hit for Brandon Lau. He'll take him any way he can get him right now.
And I'm telling you guys, sometimes these are the hits that can absolutely get a guy going. No hits versus the Yankees. Tough at bat first time tonight, and you get a hit and it lets you breathe a little bit.
When you turn to make that throw as a pitcher, you have to aim almost 6 feet inside the bag. It takes your first baseman, doesn't put him in harm's way, and it's the best way to make that throw.
Arozarena defected from Cuba. He was with the Cardinals last year. Just a phenomenal story, and he's had another moment. He almost hit a home run in game 4 of the division series to make it 4 consecutive games. Gardner robbed him of a home run. Lauren, he continues to make a name for himself, and they asked him who his favorite player was, and he said Randy Arozarena is my favorite player.
I love it. Kevin Cash told me once he gets pitched tough or strikes out like he did last at bat, it's almost like he puts it in his memory bank, BA. And if you ever go back to that pitch, he's ready for it. Even within an at bat, he's able to make that adjustment.
Struck out on a fastball his first at bat, did not miss it in his second one.
Well, you can think along with Maldonado there as well. We gave you the splits on the pitch, the differential between the sinker and the breaking ball. You feel pretty safe with a sinker away with 2 strikes, get him to maybe roll over, but that has not how he's been going. Arozarena, incredible power to all fields, and he's popped 4 home runs now.
I mean, remember, he was COVID positive. He didn't start the season until late in August, so really September was his chance to get loose and get ready. And now he's got 13 hits in this postseason.
And he's making them count, too. Damage.
Yandy Diaz takes a strike. Had the heat behind it. And you could see Springer just gave up the chase. Beautiful shot from up above on the Goodyear blimp. Yandy Diaz, 1-1 count. And Valdez will check on the runner Lau.
Playing a pretty good shift against Diaz, who's got a great ability to hit that ball the other way.
And that's one thing he's trying to pull right now, and that's why he struggled this postseason. He's hit 91, but with that being said, a great eye, 7 walks this postseason.
There's a great Cuban connection with both of these teams. Yandy Diaz, Aledmys Diaz. You've got Yuli Gurriel, of course, Arozarena. Just a testament to the great baseball played in Cuba. Many leaving their families to come play in the States. A swing and a miss. Valdez strikes him out for the second out of the inning. And for Valdez, that's strikeout number 5. 2 outs in the frame now.
You know, when we talk about Valdez, we don't mention, and we should mention it more, he's got some of the best spin rate on that breaking ball of anyone in the major leagues. So this is not just a get me over pitch. This is a put away pitch when he's ahead.
Comes back after the home run, the infield hit, made a good pitch, and then a strikeout. Here is Hunter Renfroe. Well, he has found the hole in his swing, hasn't he? Valdez going right to the bottom of that swing of Renfroe, down and in, and he has come up empty. He struck out in the second inning.
I think it's the hardest thing to do. He didn't play a lot in the division series, and now here in game 1.
After an electrifying moment in the wild card series in game 2, the grand slam. That was against a lefty, Hyunjin Ryu. Only grand slam in Tampa Bay Rays postseason history. And it was a no-doubter. And this was an early put-away punch for the Rays that secured that second game, gave them a big lead. 2-game sweep of the Blue Jays as the top-seeded Tampa Bay Rays would send Toronto home in 2.
Man, he's a low on base percentage. He's in there to do exactly what you just saw. And this team for the Rays, 26 of their 33 runs now in the postseason via the home run. So that's what they're looking for right now.
Ready for a 1-1. Renfroe gets the benefit of the call that time, right on the edge. Looked to be a good pitch. 2 balls and a strike, though. Those swing pitches were on the 1-1 count.
Yeah,
that can change an at bat, can it?
Manny Gonzalez is seeing that pitch middle of the plate and in. He is missing that ball occasionally. Strike on the outside part of the plate.
2 balls and a strike. Renfroe in a hitter's count with a runner at first in Lau. 2-2. Valdez comes right back. Down and in corner. Snell with the Houdini act in that 4th inning. 2 walks, 2 hits. Got a line drive double play. And managed to get out of the inning, stranding the bases loaded. Arozarena ties it. 2-2, and down he goes. Valdez strikes him out. Back-to-back Ks. Good bounce back after the home run. Randy Arozarena still can't sneak a fastball by him. It's 1-1.
The MLB postseason on TBS is brought to you by Still a Base, Still a Taco, only at Taco Bell. By Nike, no more sitting on the sidelines. Register at vote.nike.com. And by AT&T 5G.
Well, his manager called him the Cuban Mookie Betts. And Randy Arozarena is looking like Mookie Betts here in the 2020 postseason. He is the designated hitter tonight, and a solo home run with one out in the fourth to tie this game at 1. We go to the 5th now, and a key swing inning here for Blake Snell. 3rd time through the batting order. High pitch count through the first 4 innings. He's got Springer, Altuve, and Bradley to deal with.
We were talking about before how good Framber Valdez is as he goes through the lineup, even better the 3rd time through the lineup than he is the 1st time. Blake Snell's going to have to defeat history a little tonight because he's just the opposite. Batting averages rise as he gets deeper and deeper into the lineup.
And is not around much for the 3rd time through, especially this season. That one just missed. 3 balls, no strikes on Springer. He's hit the ball hard twice, lined out in the 1st, and then singled in the 3rd inning. Does he have the green light? 3-0, taking, and a strike.
Yeah, and this is where, you know, last inning we touched on it a little bit. The Astros didn't score, but they flipped the lineup back over now, and they've seen him for the 3rd time. His pitch count, this will be his 90th pitch, so you start to wonder how long before we see that pen door fly open.
Rays bullpen quiet for now. Snell deals a 3-1. Jammed him. He was in hit mode, wasn't he? Springer chased one at his shoulders.
One of the rare fastballs that he's got up and in on the right-handed hitters. Those are the numbers we were talking about before, so that doesn't mean it can't be done.
Back in the count now. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
I thought it was interesting, guys, too, talking to Kevin Cash today. I think BAU asked him about 3rd time through the lineup, and he said most time we look at a little more. He said tonight maybe not as much, knowing we need some length out of Blake Snell.
Kind of boiled down to who's our best option for the 3rd time through the batting order, and with the way the Rays had to use their bullpen to get through the Yankees in 5, Snell is it. Another payoff pitch.
It just will not strike out. It is death by foul balls.
A quiet Rays bullpen. Each team carrying 14 pitchers for this ALCS. The Rays added 1. They had 13 in the division series. Felt like they needed that extra arm. 3-2 and a swing and a miss. He got the strikeout. Went back to that breaking ball. Springer is gone.
Gets on that side of the ball. That's that cutter slider that he throws. It looked more like a slider out of the hand of Blake Snell. Good pitch.
Maybe his best pitch of the night.
Yeah, I think after 3 straight fastballs too.
His 2nd strikeout. So Springer is 1 for 3, and the first man out here in the 5th inning. That brings up Jose Altuve. It was the curve that time from Snell.
2 straight curveballs there, Brian. 1 to start Springer, and here to start Altuve.
Not a former MVP matching up against a former Cy Young Award winner. Altuve the MVP in 17. Snell won the Cy Young Award in 18. Pours in a strike. Got that inside corner.
Altuve is one of those hitters that he can have a stretch where he doesn't get many hits, but when he gets hot, he goes like 8 for 11. That kind of hot.
Yeah, they come in bunches.
Last 3 games, 6 for 10. Homered in 3 straight.
Now,
Dumps him out of the way. 2-1 now.
I thought it was telling when Lauren was talking to Dusty Baker between innings, and his eyes kind of lit up when he started talking about Altuve. And I'm sure for him, you know, he hasn't seen Altuve like he's been the last 4 years, this year being his first year. And I'll tell you what, you've seen it. He got going in the ALDS, and look, as he went, this team started to go.
Altuve ahead in the count. Oh, he got a generous call that time. Count goes to 2-2.
High changeup that he gets the call from Gonzalez.
It's the adjusted strike zone, by the way. Remember the box anyway. The 5-5 Altuve. And the 2-2. Count is full now. And Bradley on deck.
Interesting to watch the Tampa Bay Ray defense. Depending on the counts is how they move. So when it goes to 3-2, they consider it a hitter's count. So they move more to the pull side.
Haven't seen a four-man outfield just yet. The Rays employed that a number of times in the division series. See what Snell has in mind. 3-2. And he goes with the slider. Got the ground ball gobbled up by Brasso. So to Springer and Altuve, 3-2 sliders resulting in outs. 2 away here in the 5th. Hey, we invite you to clap or cheer for your favorite team during the postseason from the comforts of home. MLB's Cheer at the Ballpark lets your team hear your excitement. You can visit MLB.com/cheer to join in. Suddenly the slider has become a go-to pitch again for Blake Snell.
You know, guys, you can learn a lot about a pitcher when he doesn't have his great stuff. When you have your great stuff, you roll it out there, you strike out 10, you go deep into the game. It's those times that you don't have your good stuff. Are you brave enough to stay out there? And if he gets through this 5 innings of 1-run ball, that'll be pretty amazing.
Bradley again went to that breaking ball, and it's no balls and a strike. We saw Snell against the Yankees in his first start run. He was just off with his breaking stuff, especially his curveball, and he couldn't. The ones he was trying to throw at a faster clip, throw a little bit harder, they were coming up short. Then he tried to slow it down a little bit.
It was like he was in between what speed he wanted to throw it. He's just been a little off, you can tell, in both these starts, but boy, he's battling. You can tell just by his face and how red it is, how he's just battling out there, out to out, pitch to pitch.
Well, you look how easy it's been for Valdez besides the home run, how tough it's been for Snell, but you look up, it's still 1-1.
Yep.
And Bradley chased that slider. I tell you, Snell, he's found something here. He got Maldonado on a lazy fly ball with the bases loaded to end the 4th. And he has not let the Astros up for air since.
No, and look, if he's able to get this next out in the next pitch or two, I wouldn't be shocked to see Kevin Cash send him back out. He can go 115.
I agree.
It's the playoffs.
I think you're right. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bradley wants timeout and is granted timeout.
I think you look at the way the defense plays Brantley too, guys. It's the respect. Most guys at least some sort of shift. Do we ever see an actual straight up defense anymore? Not many times.
It's newsworthy.
We always show it if we do.
The 1-2 bounced it.
Mike Zunino is going to be black and blue until January.
Snell always makes him work. Snell had 7 wild pitches in the regular season. That was the most in the majors, tied for the most with his teammate Glasnow. Sonny Gray on that list as well. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Bradley, a little half swing, able to check his swing. And again, it's a 3-2 count. So 3 batters faced in this 5th, all 3-2 counts.
With that ball down in the strike zone, Brantley is such a patient hitter, especially with 2 strikes. Last 9 hitters, Houston Astro hitters, 6 full counts for Blake Snell.
Seventh overall in the game. That's why the pitch count is where it is in the 5th inning. Somewhere Greg Maddux is saying, you know, I finished plenty of games and started other games in 104 pitches. Got through 2 innings of the next game.
Won 355 games.
3-2 pitch. Hit sharply, but a man is there. Second baseman Lau makes the play, and a 1-2-3 inning for Blake Snell. He needed that one. All tied at 1. Tampa Bay coming to bat as we go to the bottom of the 5th. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Whether you're swinging for the fences, the parking lot, or across the country, Goodyear, more driven. A little bit of paradise right there. The San Diego Bay, sunset here on the West Coast. Don't let that scene fool you, though. A battle here in this American League Championship Series, a rematch of the Division Series in the AL last year. The Rays and the Astros. Framber Valdez back on the mound. Adames on the first pitch. He fouls it away. There's been a couple of solo homers in this game. Jose Altuve with a solo shot in the first with one away. Good way for the Astros to get started. And then Randy Arozarena on a 2-strike pitch, homered with one away in the fourth. We're keeping an eye on Blake Snell, up over 100 pitches. There is activity in the Tampa Bay bullpen. John Curtis, who had a rough game one against the Yankees, but then came back and pitched beautifully later in the series.
2 right-handers coming up. You know, Brian Snell's high this year during the regular season was 108 pitches in his last start against the Mets. 104 tonight.
Yeah, and look, if you're going to go batter by batter form, you might as well bring Curtis in to face the 2 righties and let him come in with Bregman on first or second if he gets on.
2-1 the count. Adames takes a ball. On the flip side, Valdez has been excellent. He's got 6 strikeouts. Gave up that home run to Arozarena, but showed some poise. He came back. There was an infield hit on a little swinging bunt by Lau. And then back-to-back Ks. So he wrestled it right back. Ooh, close pitch. It missed, though. It was down. And Adames is aboard. The Rays have a lead man on in this 5th inning. Hey, 1 in 5 kids in the U.S. may not be able to afford to play Little League. For every text of Little League to 313131, T-Mobile will donate $1 to their Little League call-up grant program, so our kids can keep playing ball. Got a lead runner on. Second time tonight. Lead man has reached for the Rays. And on the first pitch, Margot back to the mound. Fired at first in time. You were interested in that throw, Ronnie.
Yes.
I saw you perk up. The last time Valdez threw it over there, he threw it away.
But the last one, he threw a cutter over there. This time he sunk it a little bit. They keep it away from the runner. Also a much easier play.
And the smart play. Look, the way he was hustling here, I thought he was about to turn and just smoke it to Altuve at second, but got the out.
I mean, these are all these composure moments, guys. How you follow up a home run when the game is tied. How do you follow up the next time you make a throw to first? And he's checking all these boxes right now of a guy who is participating in his first postseason.
Made it look easy. Showed great quickness.
Runner at second, though, works like a bunt, like a sacrifice for the Rays. They have a runner in scoring position for Kiermaier. He pounced on a first pitch curveball his last time up for a double. And gets a fastball this time for a strike. Starting to see some frustration by these hitters. Kiermaier thought that one was high. That was Maldonado asking Valdez to step off, start over.
You can see him staying hard now to Kiermaier. Hung him a first pitch breaking ball last time. Now 2 fastballs. And now he's got him set up 0-2.
Got the benefit of maybe both calls, but especially that one.
The book is out.
Oh, he'll throw him a breaking ball, but he'll bounce it.
Kiermaier, the longest tenured Ray. Up there with a runner at second. Go ahead run. Kiermaier swinging a foul. Well, he has been murdering breaking balls, and this was the big one in game 3 against Tanaka. First pitch curve, 3-run home run. Stretched the lead for the Tampa Bay Rays. That was a huge moment for Kevin Kiermaier in the division series. Adames ready to run at second. One away in the inning. And back. Oh, my goodness. What a play that was. Oh, okay. Framber Valdez with some nifty glove work right there for the second out of the inning. Adames advances to third base, but go ahead and mark that one down.
Well, he's got a smile, too. Watch me catch a rabbit in my hat. And then he almost had the audacity to think, well, maybe I'll get him at third.
And maybe could have.
Maybe I just take this out to first base.
You know, we're occupying this booth in San Diego that was occupied for many years by the late Jerry Coleman.
That's right.
And you know what he'd say on a play like that. Hang a star on that one.
The Colonel.
Good to see him, Seth. You got a smile on that one.
Adames to third base. 2 outs in the inning. Here is Zunino. First ball swinging, and it's through the shift for a base hit. Adames will score. And the Rays have taken a 2-1 lead. Mike Zunino ambushing the first pitch. It's an RBI single, and Tampa Bay is on top here in this 5th inning.
Well, Valdez has not walked many people. This is where a walk in a playoff game is a rally. Moved it over, and then first pitch, he gets a sinker. Doesn't do too much.
Right off the end of the bat.
And just found a spot in the shift. That's all that was. Good try by Altuve.
One of the oldest cliches in the game. Hit them where they ain't. And Zunino did just that. And the Rays are on top. After trailing 1-0 after the first half inning. They've scored in each of the last 2 innings. Back to the top of the order now at Mike Brasso.
It's a staple of the way the Tampa Bay Rays play. They play in a lot of close games. They just battle you.
Yeah, 14 and 5 in 1-run games this year. They know how to win late. And then we talk about the Astros bottom part of the order. For Kevin Cash in this Rays lineup, the 8 and 9 guys this year, 12 RBIs in the postseason. So getting production from kind of where you don't expect it.
14 wins, as you mentioned, in a 60-game schedule. 40-win season for the Rays. Good chunk of their victories coming in games just like this. Brasso on the ground. Correa. And he bobbled it and has no play. Boy, Correa was very nonchalant with that. Kind of flipped it from his glove to his bare hand, and he bobbles it. It's an E6. And Brasso will reach, and the door is cracked open a little bit here for the Rays to extend in the 5th.
This is just a careless play by a shortstop who's much better than that. Just didn't come up with it, and regrettable there by Correa.
Yeah, and we talked to one of the best infields in all of baseball. 991 fielding percentage. Kind of a lapse, and now the last guy you want to see come up in this situation.
Randy Arozarena, who homered his last time up. Valdez tried to sneak a 2-strike fastball by him, and he ripped it over the center field fence. How about those numbers? And that's with a stretch of 0 for 8, still hitting .448. Yeah, he was 0 for 8 before that last home run.
Maldonado's going to pay a visit. Big, huge part of the game. Usually when an infielder comes in who just made an error on the mound, he will say, hey, pick me up now. Come on.
Well,
Get me out
as
here.
you said, a huge part of the game.
Yep.
We've seen the Rays get out of a couple big jams, and it's just kind of a different feel. Snell, you felt like battled, yet he gave up 1 run. Seems like Valdez has been in control the whole time, yet he's given up 2.
He's on the losing side right now.
Got one of the hottest hitters in the postseason at the plate. That only adds to it. Take a look inside the numbers for Randy Arozarena. It's presented by DraftKings. And hard hit ball, so that's defined by an exit velocity of 95 miles per hour off the bat or better. And Arozarena is at the top of the list after that home run in the 4th inning with 1 away. Arozarena is on a home run binge right now that goes back into the regular season, really starting in the month of September. So over his last 28 games, guys, he's hit 10 homers. hit 1 home run his first 37 major league games. 10 in his last 28. He's found it. Oozing with confidence right now. Two on, 2 out. Got him to 2 strikes. And then a fastball that was in the nitro zone for Arozarena. That tied it at 1 in the 4th inning.
Just been amazed, Frenchie, at the quickness of his bat.
Well, that's what sometimes the guy, obviously for him, he's figured something out, whether it's where his hands are, when he gets started, and it's completely changed the type of hitter he is. Just even that hack he just took 1-1 on the fastball, that's the guy looking to do damage.
Valdez got him to 2 strikes again. Maldonado going through the signs, the change of the signs. See the tape around his fingers, makes it easier to see. See what he has in mind here. 1-2. A breaking ball, and he got him. That was a good call right there. Good choice. Arozarena strikes out. They strand 2, but Mike Zunino, light hitting catcher, jumps on the first pitch right off the end of the bat. He gives the Rays the lead after 5. It's 2-1 Tampa Bay. Handshakes for Blake Snell, the end of the line for the Game 1 starter for the Rays. 5 innings. He wrestled through it, but only 1 earned run allowed, that home run by Altuve. And he will exit. And it's going to be John Curtis on the mound as we take a look at tonight's reliever spotlight presented by Hankook Tire.
Well, with Curtis, pitched in Game 1, kind of took one for the team in the late innings through 42 pitches, but came back in Game 3. Had to face Giancarlo Stanton as his first hitter. Was very effective over an inning and 2/3.
And now he gets Alex Bregman to start this 6th inning with the Rays leading 2-1 after the Zunino RBI. Rays are in their 4 outfielder set here. You'll see this frequently. Trying to eliminate that extra base hit. Ronnie, I thought Kevin Cash bringing John Curtis back, who considers him one of his stable, the famous quote, a stable of guys, but he's on that list. He's part of their excellent bullpen. After a rough Game 1, he did not hesitate to put him right back on the horse in Game 3, as you mentioned, in a 2-run game to face Stanton.
That's right. After getting roughed up in Game 1. But listen, he's a big part of this relief corps. It might not be here if it wasn't for John Curtis and others. And he's unscored upon in 13 of his last 15 appearances.
And I think the great managers know they got to get those guys back out in those situations. You struggled. I need you the rest of the postseason. You got to go back out.
2-1 to Bregman. A swing and a miss upstairs with a fastball, and it's 2-2. So it will be interesting now to see with the lead how Cash is going to maneuver this. Aaron Loop getting loose, the left-hander.
People on, he'll be in to face maybe Kyle Tucker.
Don't forget the 3-batter rule this year. You come into a game, got to face 3 batters or finish the inning. 3-2 the count. Carlos Correa due next. Bregman, Correa, Tucker. Anybody gets on? Gurriel. 3-2 and a shot through for a base hit. So he finds the hole with only 3 infielders and only 1 on that side. That's a single for Alex Bregman. He's 2 out of 3 here tonight, and the Astros have a lead man on in the 6th inning.
Well, great job here. 3-2. Throws him a good fastball. Kind of beats him to the spot, but for Bregman right there, knows we need base runners. 3 infielders, pokes it through. Big league AB.
Frenchie, what did you see in the Oakland series for Houston? They're very good at hitting high velocity, aren't they?
Yeah, look, these guys don't. You can throw it 100 if you want. And the one thing I will say about this Astros lineup too, majority of these guys got a good eye. They're not high strikeout guys.
So here is Correa now. Curtis just dots the edge with a fastball. Correa had a good at bat in the 4th inning. deep count. Drew a walk, fouled off some tough pitches from Snell. Grounded out in the first inning. 1 ball, 1 strike. Aaron Luke did not pitch in the division series. It has been a while since he's been on the mound. He pitched in the wild card game 2. And Cash does not have all of his A relievers apparently fully loaded up and ready tonight after what they had to accomplish, all of them throwing multi-inning outings to win game 5. On the ground, big bouncing ball. Brasso goes to second, out there, and no chance for a double play. 5-4 on the lead out for the first out of this 6th inning.
Kind of took a high bounce on him right here, and it took him a minute to get rid of the ball. Good job by Lau to get rid of it, but Correa too quick.
Just used that bag as a buffer so Bregman couldn't get into his legs.
Bregman.
A little different slides than you see during the regular season.
Right. Stayed on the bag.
Yep.
Lau gave him a look. So here is Tucker now. Runner at first, 1 away.
And BA, this is where that rule you mentioned has changed to me the whole game, because right now we would be getting a pitching change.
Would have been Luke for sure for 1 batter. Now you figure Luke, it may have passed his window here. This Tampa Bay Rays team, they did not let up on the gas when they got leads late. 6th inning leads, 7th inning leads. When they led after 7, they were undefeated. Just a dominant relief corps in Tampa Bay this year. That's how they're built. That's the strength of their team. 3 excellent starters in Blake Snell and Tyler Glasnow and Charlie Morton. But Ron, they're not starters that go deep into games. Right. So this bullpen threw more innings than their starters this year, and one of the main reasons they won the division.
They have the alarm clock there after 5 innings that goes off. Be ready.
The 0-1.
There were a lot of inconsistencies with the Houston lineup throughout the year. They had some guys going, some not. Brantley was strong almost the entire year, but you can't say enough about Kyle Tucker. Probably had as many big hits during the 60-game season as any Astro.
Yeah, 27 extra base hits. And talking to a couple of the Astros hitting coach, Alex Cintron and Troy Snicker, they both were talking about how this guy, from just the beginning of this year, Ron, until the end, his approach at the plate, learning how guys are pitching him, has just improved immensely. And like I said, he's had a great postseason.
8 game-winning RBIs this year. That was tied for first.
Coming off a 3-hit game in game 4 of the division series.
And then, of course, a tough luck in the 4th inning when he lined that ball into the double play, which was a huge break for the Rays at that moment.
That was one of the signature moments for Blake. He was wobbling in that 4th inning. Tucker, defensive swing, and Curtis will pounce on it. There is out number 2. Tried to check his swing, but the bat went through and ends up as an out. Tying run does advance into scoring position with Correa. But 2 men are gone for Yuli Gurriel.
Excuse me, swing right here. Pitching's good when the pitchers are making a lot of defensive plays.
And this is a perfect example of what Dusty Baker was talking about. Your team's down 2-1, top of the 6th, runner at second. Who you got up? The guy that's been struggling but needs a base knock.
Hoping the media guy doesn't lie. Gurriel, he drew a walk his last time up. It was an impressive plate appearance for him. Sometimes you draw a walk like that, you're seeing the ball better. He took a borderline pitch. It was called a ball, and he earned the walk.
Go back to Brasso's big home run, guys. Saw more pitches from Chapman, finally times it down.
2-0. Gurriel's been an RBI machine as a professional baseball player, which goes back to his age 16 season, first in Cuba, then Japan, in the minor leagues here, and then of course with the Astros in the major leagues. That gets away. So Correa will advance to third base. And now the tying run 90 feet away with the count 3 balls and no strikes.
Sometimes these are the plays that you see catchers not making the catch on. They're trying to not frame it, but trying to get it in the glove and maybe bring it back into play. But not a good play there by Zunino.
Scored as a wild pitch. Wonder if Gurriel has a green light. 3-0. Curtis deals, and it's ball 4. Walked him on 4 straight.
Despite his average, it showed the respect that they have for Gurriel. He didn't want any part of him.
Still a threat.
No, and it shows you how Dusty Baker's going to play this right here. He's going to let Diaz hit. He knows if he goes and puts Reddick in against the right-hander, Loop's coming in to face him.
Back to the mound, the pitcher whisperer, Kyle Snyder. And he's going to bring his entire infield in with him as well. 2 outs in the 6th inning in a 2-1 game. We remind you, we've never done October like this. That means anything can happen. MLB has you covered on social media: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube.
That's how you get around the rule of having to face 3 batters. You have your left-hander up, and if you get to 2 outs, then you get a possibility, like you said, Frenchie, if Reddick comes up, he can get just the left-hander out, and he's out of the game.
And on the Zoom call today, guys, Dusty talked about that. When do I pinch hit Reddick? When do I pinch hit Diaz? This is his first really big moment where he's had to make a decision, and he's sticking with the right-hander.
So same side matchup here. Diaz, who reached on an infield hit his last time up. There's Reddick. Made a great catch in game 4 of that division series against Oakland. Saved a homer. Diaz on the first pitch, right in front of the plate. Fair ball. Zunino jumps on it, and the inning is over. That soft, wet area in front of home plate, that ball just died. Like backing up a 9-iron. Nice play by Zunino. Still 2-1 Rays.
The MLB postseason on TBS is brought to you by DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of Major League Baseball. Download the app to try it free today, and by HBO Max. Stream all new originals, movies, and more.
Sunset San Diego. Picturesque San Diego, California. And as the lights up full candle here at Petco Park, Valdez continues for the Astros. He has been excellent. 2 runs are in for the Tampa Bay Rays. They lead it 2-1. It was a home run by Arozarena to tie it in the 4th, and then a 2-out RBI single right off the end of the bat by Zunino. That happened last inning. Brandon Lau will start it for Tampa Bay, followed by Yandy Diaz, then Hunter Renfroe. Lau with an infield hit his last time up. That followed the Arozarena homer. Little swinging bunt. And hits that one into the ground. Shift is on. Altuve into grass. Hustles it over to first base for out number 1. 7 strikeouts for Framber Valdez here tonight, Ronnie, and 2-pitch pitcher that can get the big punch outs.
But like Frenchie was saying, he really knows how to change speeds. He just took a little off on that pitch to allow for the out. And you see all those pitches, middle of the plate into righties, middle of the plate away to left-handers. 7 out of the 9 hitters in the Rays lineup are right-handed.
Brings up Yandy Diaz. A walk and a strikeout. He was the 5th strikeout victim.
And you could see 6 out of 7 of those Ks bottom third of the zone. Does a great job. We've only seen him leave a couple balls up tonight. One of them got hit for a homer.
3 for 8 second time through that order. One of those hits that infield single, and then Zunino's right off the end of the bat. So minus the home run, I mean, if you're looking at exit velocity, he's not giving up much off the bats of these Tampa Bay Rays, minus the mistake pitch to Arozarena with 2 strikes in the 4th. And Diaz takes a ball. Let's send it down to Lauren Shahadi. What do you have, Lauren?
Well, Ron was talking earlier about movement. Fromber pitching with more confidence, cut down on the walks, and he credits his growth to a sports psychologist and becoming a father, and said 90% of his offseason prep was mental. He said he learned how to focus on the mound, control the strike zone, as you guys were talking about earlier, and let the small stuff go, control what he can.
That's great stuff, Lauren. Dusty was talking about they didn't know what they had in Valdez when they came to either spring training or the summer camp. He has been a guy who could never throw the ball over the plate despite having good stuff, and working with Brent Strom certainly would help that. One of the best pitching coaches in the game.
Brent Strom, one of the OGs of the analytical movement. He is into the sports science, has been a long time, and has found a home with the Astros. As Diaz takes a ball, a little stare down to Valdez. Diaz giving him a tough battle right there, and a base runner with one out. So here's what's coming up. The National League will get their NLCS started. It'll be on Fox. Our friends Joe Buck, John Smoltz, Ken Rosenthal, Tom Verducci will have that for you. Braves and Dodgers tomorrow night. We'll be back for Game 2 tomorrow afternoon, and then we'll get rolling with Game 3 in this series on Tuesday, and Game 2 of that NLCS Tuesday. As you see Ryan Thompson, the sidewinder, getting ready. Astros have 9-1-2 coming up in the 7th inning. Renfroe takes strike one.
Gets ahead with that fastball. Now he can really go to that curveball if he wants. He's had Renfroe out front all night on that.
Renfroe with back-to-back strikeouts against Valdez. Pitch count in great shape here, but he's trailing 2-1. And a wave and a miss. 1-2 the count on Renfroe. Renfroe's hit some of the longest home runs ever hit in this ballpark. One of only 2 Padres to hit it on the upper deck of the Western Metal Supply building down the left field line. He had been the only one until this year when Fernando Tatis Jr. did it. Makes sense. The year that Tatis had and the power that he has. But so far Valdez has found the holes in Renfroe's swing. 1 ball, 2 strikes with Diaz at first. Got a piece.
Better swing at that one, even though it wasn't a strike.
He's given him a lot of those curveballs tonight. He's been out front. You said finally got a piece of that, but you know, I know he can probably go back to a fastball and challenge him. I would probably, if I was him, just come back with that same curveball, maybe a little bit lower in the zone.
Maldonado wants the sinker.
Look out. 1-2 pitch. Renfroe had a big swing that was right down the middle, and he fouls it away. And Valdez knew he got away with one right there.
You know, in a day and age, though, where we see so many pitches true and four seam and carry, this ball just has a little faint dip to it at the very end that stays under the bat of Renfroe.
That's that spin you're talking about, right, Ronnie? That sinker, the rotations of that ball so fast to the hitter's eye, it's below where you think it will be. See what he has in mind. 1-2. 1 man out, 6th inning. And swing at a miss. Renfroe strikes out. He's got him again. 3rd time he struck out Renfroe, and that's number 8 for Valdez.
Well, he's thrown him just enough fastballs to keep him honest, but it's been a steady diet of curveballs.
TBS Total Motion presented by Progressive.
Yeah, and there's the kind of his 2 curveballs. Yeah. You saw that one was more slow, kind of downward. The ones he got him to swing at earlier are more kind of sliderish back foot.
Satisfied look by Valdez. Now facing Adames.
Adames in that ALDS last year might have had the best series for the Rays. Went 5 for 13, couple of home runs.
Yeah, so far this postseason, quiet. 3 for 22 with 9 Ks.
Rays lead it 2-1. Arozarena's home run tied it. Zunino's RBI put him ahead. That one missed. Valdez wanted that call, and Maldonado said no, wasn't there. That burned him, though. He thought he had a strike. Maldonado's such a good pitch framer, especially with a guy like Valdez who's around the plate. He sticks him every time. Can make it tough on an umpire. Here's a 2-1. Missed badly. 3 balls and a strike now on Adames. And will Margot do next?
It's a good spot for Adames. I think of him as better low ball hitter than high ball hitter. 3-1 count. Does he get that sinker a little up?
He's got some pop. 3-1. And he lost him. Ball 4. Adames draws the walk with 2 away. Second walk of the inning. And Strom's on his way out to chat with Framber Valdez. Give him a little bit of a breather here, perhaps. Let the bullpen get active with 2 outs in the 6th. Hey, see contestants win a fortune by ranking other people's misfortune. The hit series, The Misery Index, is back, hosted by the stars of Impractical Jokers and Jamila Jamil. All new episodes of The Misery Index kicks off Tuesday, October 20th on TBS. So Blake Taylor just starting to throw in that Houston bullpen. Strom will give him plenty of time to throw here. Dusty Baker back in the postseason and having to make some tough decisions. The starting pitcher in his first postseason that has been brilliant for him.
Well, Framber Valdez was trying to explain his misery index to Brent Strom because I think he's really hasn't appreciated the strike zone of Manny Gonzalez this inning, but I think those pitches legitimately missed.
Well, and I think that's why you're seeing him warm up. You know, you don't want to say he's necessarily getting tired, but his misses are starting to miss a lot more around the strike zone. As BA said earlier, the first 4 innings he was all over the strike zone. Now starting to labor a little bit.
Well, that's a key spot right here. The Rays lead it. They've got 2 men on, 2 outs in the inning. And Manny Margot, who is 0 for 2. Both of the outs have been on the ground.
There's a line for Valdez. 17 2/3 innings in the postseason. He's given up 4 runs so far.
In there for a strike. No balls and 2 strikes now on Margot. Margot homered in the wild card series against Toronto and then homered in the division series against the Yankees. Valdez has him in a hole here. Big pitch coming. 2 on, 2 outs, and the 0-2 is on the ground. Correa will go across the diamond, and it's in time to get the speedy Margot, and that will retire the side. Framber Valdez, he's pitching a gem, but he's down 2-1. The Astro bats are quiet. We go to the 7th. You're watching the 2020 American League Championship Series on TBS. It's presented by Geico. Back to the pen goes Kevin Cash. It was Curtis for a scoreless inning, and now Ronnie, it's the sidewinder Ryan Thompson.
Only with the Rays can you say this. He relieved in game 1 and he was the opener. Started game 4.
It was so in that start as the opener, but they certainly pieced it together in that game 4, setting them up for a game 5. He's been good though. Gets a lot of ground ball outs. He's got 9, 1, and 2 coming up. Maldonado will start it, and then to Springer and Altuve. Astros with just 1 run despite 7 hits tonight. Altuve with the home run in the first, their only tally thus far. Maldonado was up there in a key spot in the 4th. He flew out to right with the bases loaded. Boy, that did not miss by much, if it missed at all.
That was a pretty good pitch.
Manny Gonzalez is the only one that matters, and he called it a ball. It's 1-1. In constant motion is Ryan Thompson. You'll see the opener at some point in this series if it lasts long enough. The difference between his sinker and his breaking ball is shocking, and one of the reasons he has had this incredible season. Commands him well. Comes out of the same release. And he ties up Maldonado. I mean, one pitch leads to the next, and that he missed badly with a breaking ball, but then not even a strike and gets the swing and miss.
You know how you have train tracks and sometimes the train will derail and go one way or the other. They change the tracks on you. It's kind of what it's like facing Thompson.
Well, that's where it gets so tough as a hitter. Maldonado's thinking 2-1. Here comes the sinker. I got to get started early, and you chase it.
Going back to that breaking ball here. 2-2 pitch, and Maldonado swings and misses. Well, Thompson just set him up beautifully with those 2 weapons that he has. Take a look. The difference between these two. Give you a replay from the division series. Judge had that same swing.
Yeah, that's called a nightmare for a right-handed hitter, and that's where you look at the manager and say, "Hey, you going to put the lefty in the face of this guy?"
Or if you're on the bench, you say to the lefties in the lineup, "Go lefties."
It's so tough. Honestly, when you face these guys, you see right here after that sinker, look at him flail open. You can see it. He's cheating a little bit. You got to pick one or the other. If you try to cover both these pitches, you got no chance.
17 inches the width of the plate, and he's getting what, 22, 23?
I was going to say 3 feet. 3
Separate,
feet.
maybe more.
Yeah.
I mean, it's off the charts, and it's got some velocity to it because of that. Springer up there aggressive and fouls it away. Remember, these two teams didn't face each other this season. On the ground, right to Lau at second base. 2 up and 2 down for Ryan Thompson. A strikeout and a ground out.
And Springer hit the pitch you wanted. He got the fastball out over the plate. Just happened to hit it right at the second baseman. See, that's the one you want. Gives you a chance to extend the arms, not get jammed.
John Curtis working a scoreless inning. Got through the 6th. Had some base runners with a hit and a walk, but stranded 2. And now Thompson, who faces Altuve.
Blake Taylor's still up for the Astros. They've got a lot of young arms in that Astros bullpen.
Got a left-hander on deck for Houston and Bradley, so the Rays bullpen still has activity as Loop continues to throw. He's got his targets, and Bradley would be one of them, I'm guessing, especially with 2 outs. If Altuve reaches, Bradley would hit. 2-1 Tampa Bay. We play in the 7th inning, game 1, and Altuve takes a strike. Another generous call there, and Thompson is back in the count at 2-1 instead of 3-0.
Here, Altuve, that never looked like a strike. Any of the 60 feet 6 inches.
Yeah.
Misses with a fastball. This Tampa Bay Rays bullpen, they led the American League in wins and saves and inherited runners stranded. They were second in innings and ERA this year. Had more innings than their starters combined this season, their bullpen. Altuve beats one into the ground. Adames fires to first, and Thompson with a 3-up, 3-down inning, a strikeout and 2 ground ball outs. 2-1 Tampa Bay. Stretch time in Game 1 in San Diego. Game 1 American League Championship Series on TBS. The Rays and the Astros, a rematch of a division series matchup last year. And the Astros go to their bullpen. First ball swinging Kevin Kiermaier. So Blake Taylor is on to pitch. Framber Valdez was excellent, but he will exit trailing in this game.
Taylor appeared in 3 games in the ALDS versus Oakland. 2 scoreless frames in that ALDS.
Came from the Mets to the Astros in the Jake Marisnick deal.
The Astros have a very young bullpen. They have a lot of inexperienced arms, so no at bats for many of these hitters against their bullpen. And a lot of these bullpen arms were starters in the minor leagues and getting accustomed to the bullpen. But they've done a great job.
Yeah, I thought that would be something interesting to watch as the first couple games unfold in the series. You got offensive guys haven't seen a lot of these pitchers. First couple times, advantage pitcher.
Yeah.
2 balls and a strike on Kiermaier. 2-2 now. This is a Rays kind of game. This feels a lot like Game 5 of the division series against the Yankees. Bottom of the order for the Rays, the 8 and 9 hitters, the 2 catchers, Zunino and Perez, and then typically Kiermaier hitting 8. They have had monster runs in this postseason. No easy at bats down at the bottom of this order. Kiermaier with a double his first time up, and he lines that one down the left field line. That's down fair and to the wall. Kiermaier on his way to second, and he is in there with a double, his second double of the game. He's gone line to line for his extra base hits. 2 out of 3 tonight, and the Rays have something cooking here in the bottom of the 7th.
What a great job of hitting. Gets another fastball, really probably a ball off the plate, and goes with it for another double. And you saw those numbers at the bottom by the bottom part of the order. That's when your guys are struggling like Lau and Adames. To get that production is huge.
Taylor's going to check what sign they're using with a runner on second. Yep.
Here is Mike Zunino. Jumped on the first pitch in the 5th inning. Singled with 2 outs to put the Rays on top. 2-1. Shows bunt. If he gets a bunt down to move Kiermaier, it would be a first in this postseason. We have not had a sacrifice bunt in this postseason thus far. Did they give you the ball for that, or is that something that
can you go a whole postseason without anybody sack button? I love the long ball as much as anybody.
He can certainly hit the long ball. His catching mate, Michael Perez, tried to bunt twice in the Yankees series in his only start, and when it was unsuccessful twice, he went yard.
0-2
for a 2-run homer. So maybe it's all part of the plan. Zunino had no designs on a bunt right there. Now he's down, no balls, 2 strikes. 29-year-old power hitting catcher Mike Zunino. Fastball 97 miles an hour. Taylor's got a big fastball.
Now look, he either wants a strikeout or a rollover here. He's going to continue to pound him in, not let him get the ball over to the right side and get Kiermaier to third.
Kiermaier starts this inning with a double down the left field line. Zunino takes a ball. 2-2 the count. Mike Brasso due next. He's had decent success against hard throwing left-handers recently. Two balls, two strikes. And a swing and a miss. Big fastball. Taylor with his first strikeout, his first out recorded, back to the top of the Tampa Bay order now.
Just a four-seamer. What do they call it? Country hardball. Just went right after the Zunino and threw it by him.
Now they finally went away a little bit. I know it came back over the plate, but he had him thinking in. Got him to expand.
So back to the top of the order. Fourth time around for Brasso. He's 0 for 3. Reached on an error his last time up. Enoli Paredes loosening in the Astros bullpen. He's been throwing. Looks like he's loose, ready to enter when called upon.
You got to keep an eye on Kiermaier here too. He got caught stealing earlier, but he wants to get to third with one out.
I used to always think if a guy got thrown out stealing early in the game, third base, not to worry about him the rest of the game.
Right.
No one wants to be wrong twice.
That's a long, shameful jog back to your dugout. But I'm with you, Frenchie. I mean, that could be a big play if he could get to third.
Yeah, young pitcher, not holding him on very well.
Maldonado's got a cannon behind the plate. He's already showed it off once. That one misses. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Taylor was good this year. If you look at his stats, everything, 17 strikeouts and 20 innings, 12 walks though. That was the only thing.
And he had a couple walks in the ALDS. Got out of it, but definitely put some stress pitches on him.
Not one giant home run on his postseason register right now. Oh, Brasso hit by a pitch. Up and in, gets drilled. So Brasso will reach. 2 men are on. Gets to first the hard way. Ooh. Right on the B. That's got a smart. Well, with 2 on, Dusty Baker has seen enough. Still rocking the sweatbands with his picture on him, man. Still the coolest cat in the ballpark, no doubt, at age 71. And he's making a pitching change. We got the right-handed hitter in Arozarena coming up, and Paredes is coming in. On a power matchup coming up. Pitching change, bottom of the 7th inning. The Rays putting up a threat, trying to add to their lead.
Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
Well, the Tampa Bay Rays have a threat going. Enoli Paredes on to pitch for the Astros. You see his regular season, 22 games. He's another one of those pitchers, Ron, in the Houston system that developed quickly, kind of a late sign, but they've really found some magic with some of these guys, and he's on that list.
Yeah, so, again, he appeared in 3 games in the ALDS, 3 2/3 scoreless innings, and pitched in the clincher and stranded 2 runners in that game in Game 4. It's all these big arms, Brian, that were starters, maybe swingmen in the minor leagues. You couldn't develop them this year, so they just put them in the bullpen.
And this forced Dusty Baker to have to make a move a little quicker than he wanted to. I saw him talking to Strom, the pitching coach. They were hoping to get that out, probably put Arozarena on and set up the lefty-lefty matchup for 2 outs. But this is the guy they have to get right now.
Yep, this is a potential big swing moment here as we play in the 7th inning with 1 out. 2 men are on. Kiermaier, the lead runner at second with great speed. Brasso runs well over at first. And Randy Arozarena, who tied this game with a home run in the 4th inning. Big swing by Arozarena, down to a knee he goes. Arozarena with 2 strikeouts, bookending his home run. His home run came on a 2-strike pitch. The ever lively Willy Adames for good luck. Here's the 0-1. Slow roller, and it'll roll foul. No balls, 2 strikes. Take a look at StatCast, powered by Google Cloud. His home runs this postseason, he's got 4, 3 in the division series. And when they say pole-to-pole power, that's what they're talking about. He can go out anywhere, Frenchie.
And that's where you feel like he's really kind of figuring things out, Ron. When you start to go 2 to center, 1 to right, 1 to left, you're not only a pole hitter with power, you can go anywhere.
There's only 2 other players with more home runs in the postseason by a rookie. Kyle Schwarber had 5 and 15. Evan Longoria of the Rays in that 08 World Series run, he had 6. Arozarena's got 4. 0-2 the count.
Long, loose arm by Paredes. You're going to see a lot of sliders from him, right, Frenchie?
Yeah, you are. Hey, we'll see after these 3 if he takes a chance. He's got 96, 97 in the tank. See if he tries to climb the ladder on him.
Here's a 1-2. Never mind. Inside move. Kiermaier holding his ground. That's twice the Astros have called for that inside move. Thinking along with you, Frenchie, the potential of Kiermaier stealing a base. Fastball missed at 97.
Well, Brantley has a very accurate arm, not the strongest arm. Springer is the wild card. He can be a little wild, but he's got a great arm. And Tucker and Wright has a good arm. But usually you have Reddick out there that might have one of the best arms of any right fielder.
Problem is with Kiermaier running, I mean, it's going to have to be hard hit right at him.
Paredes steals and a swing and a miss. He struck him out. The slider got him. Arozarena strikes out for the 2nd out of the inning. Big pitch right here by Paredes.
Well, a little 3-quarter action, and when it comes to the right-handed hitter, it makes it awfully tough to stay on it.
TBS Total Motion presented by Progressive. 3 Ks for Arozarena, but a home run. And now 2 men are out with 2 on in this 7th inning. Looking ahead to the Astros 8th inning. Right in the middle of their order, they've got Brantley, the lefty, then Bregman and Correa. If anybody gets on, Tucker. Now Brandon Lau now with 2 away and 2 men on.
Yeah, and even though Lau's struggling, this is a chance. If he gets a heater, squares one up, he's got a chance to blow this thing open.
Lau hit 14 home runs in the regular season in a 60-game schedule. Led all second basemen in homers this year. And he was late. Fouls it back. Lau led the Rays in just about every major offensive category. Batting average, homers, RBIs. Led him in OPS.
And if you're Dusty Baker, you can see he is just trying to keep him down for as long as you can. You don't hit the way he does this year, last year. You know he's going to snap out of it at some point.
No balls and a strike. 2 on. And he chased the high fastball again. That's been his kryptonite in this postseason. 0-2 the count. It's the other lefty, Brooks Raley. And Loop has been throwing a lot. Remember, Michael Brantley due to lead off.
The Yankees fed Lau a steady diet of fastballs, shoulder high, across the top of the strike zone or higher. We'll see what Paredes features here.
That's where he lives, right? Lau certainly starting to feel the pressure of this slump in the postseason. When you're the centerpiece of the offense. Did have an infield hit in the 4th. A strikeout and a ground out around it.
It is easier to take, though, when your team's winning.
No balls, 2 strikes. I'm guessing Paredes is a handful to catch. He's a little bit all over the place, and he throws gas. Saw Maldonado really scrambling to try to catch that pitch down and in. It didn't miss the strike zone by that much.
No, that's as a hitter, it's uncomfortable. When you got a guy that can throw 98 and not necessarily sure where it's going all the time. A little tough to dig in sometimes.
2 on, 2 out, and Lau half swing foul. This inning started with a double by Kiermaier. Rosso hit by a pitch with 1 away. But the outs have been strikeouts. Second batter faced for Paredes. Here he comes, and he missed. 2-2 the count.
Good take by Lau there.
Yandy Diaz due next. Lau would love to give him a swing in this inning. Diaz a very patient hitter. Reset at 2-2. That looks like a put the bat on the ball swing to me, not the let it loose confident at bat of Brandon Lau.
Well, and with the way they're playing defense, though, at the same time for him right here, I'm trying to pepper one right to the left side. Look how much room he's got from where Correa is to the third base bag.
Got the shift on, just the one infielder on the left side. That's Bregman. We'll do it again. Another 2-2 pitch. And Lau swings and misses. Paredes blows him away with a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. And a fist bump on his way out. That is a huge couple of outs for Paredes. Back-to-back Ks of Arozarena and Lau. Still 2-1. We go to the 8th. Well, Kevin Cash, he is rolling the dice here. He's going to go with Aaron Loop with the heart of the order coming up. Got to face 3 batters here. This is the 32-year-old Loop who has not pitched since September 30th running.
One of the questions we never ask the managers when we have our Zoom calls is who can pitch today, because they want to keep that to themselves and not give the other team an advantage on who they're going to face. But Anderson, Fairbanks, Castillo, one of those has got to be out.
Wow, and he hits Bradley on the first pitch. So the one batter that he wanted him up there for was the left-handed matchup, and he drills him on the first pitch. And I'm sure Aaron Loop is dealing with a lot of nerves, and you don't pitch for 12 days, 11 days between his outings. And
well, that's why Kevin Cash started walking away, because You know, you never want your relievers to either walk the first hitter or do what he did just then. He's got to face at least the 2 next right-handers.
And knowing Bregman and Correa are coming up, I think he's going with a little bit of the element of surprise. Bregman 0 for 1 against him. Correa's never faced him, but definitely not the start he wanted Luke to have.
It's a huge gamble right now, and it does reveal where those other relievers are. And if you're just picking us up here, this is the first time you're watching the Rays. They had to really go into their bullpen in the division series that went 5 games against the Yankees. They had their 3 best relievers all pitch at least 2 innings in the clinching game in Game 5. And so that is why you're seeing Curtis and Thompson and now Luke.
It is a big gamble, but it's less of a gamble if you don't have pitchers available. But at least Castillo's got to be available because he's getting up.
He got the final out, pitched the last 2 innings of that Game 5 in the division series. He is the most rubber armed of the group out there. Bregman at the plate, runner at first, and Bregman bangs that one right off his leg.
Yeah, right guy up in this situation. Bregman, some good ABs tonight. 2 hits, 1 to right, 1 to left.
You're just trying to figure out if Castillo's available and you're going through the middle of this lineup. It would make more sense to use him here and loop the pitch down towards the bottom of the lineup, or it makes sense to me.
It does give you an idea of how much confidence Kevin Cash has in his bullpen. Luke's been great for him and pitched well in the wild card game. There wasn't a matchup that came up for him against the Yankees. 1-2, a swing and a miss. How big is that strikeout for Luke? So he hits Bradley, but he comes right back to get Bregman. First out of the 8th inning.
And the one thing with facing him, his fastball plays up a little bit, and you can tell he beat Bregman to the spot.
He's a crossover guy. Against right-handed hitters, they hit 192 off him. Left-handed hitters hit 212. So that ball beat Bregman.
Now it's Correa, and it goes back to the screen, and the tying run will go to second base now. Bradley advances into scoring position. A wild pitch.
Looked like it was a breaking ball that just never broke.
One more batter, and Cash can make a pitching change. That new rule put in play this year, speed up rules. Pitchers have to face 3 batters minimum or finish an inning. This has been the hottest bat the Astros have had. He has been clutch in this postseason. 4 home runs, hit 3 of those in the division series. Had 11 RBIs in the division series in 4 games.
I think one of the hardest things to do when you're managing in the postseason is to make a decision to use a guy whose control is the most important thing, and he hasn't pitched in 12 days.
And knowing you need your full roster and your full bullpen. Playing the long game in a 7-game series as Correa's late, fouls it away. Got a breaking ball there.
Well, the outfield arm's a little different here. Margot's got a great arm playing in left field. Kiermaier, an outstanding arm in center field. Renfroe, the same.
Correa got a 2-0 slider right there. And now Luke deals 2-1. Fastball right down the middle. He got Correa guessing.
Threw him the 2-0 slider. Got a good pitch to hit, fouled it off, and then he comes back with a great fastball down in the zone at 94.
Oh. Maybe think that Correa was sitting breaking ball there.
Right. See what he goes with here. 2-2. Tying run at second base. Luke deals. Oh, Correa had a good rip at it. That was a lot of the plate, even more of the plate than the 2-2 pitch prior, the 2-1 pitch prior.
You can tell these hitters, the crossfire, he kind of pauses for a second and then boom at 95, and it's jumping on these hitters.
And as you said, that lack of familiarity. Here's a 2-2. Good play back there by Zunino. Keeps Bradley at second base. Kyle Tucker due next. That would certainly be a target for Loop. And then after that, we'll probably see Castillo.
After the slider before, he came back with 2 fastballs. I'd come back with a slider if I was Loop here.
You wonder if Correa is thinking the same. 3-2, and he misses with it. Threw him the fastball. Correa draws the walk. So now the Astros have 2 on. The go-ahead run is aboard.
Well, pitch sequence. Loop really doesn't have his great control tonight. First one to the backstop on a breaking ball. Second one not even close. That was a good pitch to get back in the count with the breaking ball, and then 2 fastballs, one right down the middle, one up and away, and then a slider that missed, and then a fastball that he kind of tugged to the inside part.
So now Loop will have the left-hander Kyle Tucker, coming off a 3-hit game in Game 4 of the division series. He's 0 for 3 tonight. And he swings at the first pitch, a line drive in the left field. They're going to hold the runner Bradley around third. He hit it hard, and no chance for Bradley to score. So now they are loaded, and now Kevin Cash is on his way out to make a change. He tried to get through the inning with Loop. Loop faces 4 batters, a hit batter, a walk, and a base hit.
What an at-bat by a young kid. To have the discipline to go up there, Ron, get a fastball out of the plate and just shoot it to left field. Move the line, and now you got a chance with the bases loaded.
2 at-bats. Tucker came up to the plate. He hit a ringing line drive that turned into a double play, and here a base hit.
Tucker has hits in all 7 of his postseason games. Now Cash does go into his A pen. Here comes Diego Castillo, and his wiffle ball is coming up next. Whether it's the 7th inning stretch or a long stretch of road movement takes us further. Goodyear more driven. Beautiful look down at Petco Park. Diego Castillo on the mound. A hot situation brewing here. Bases loaded. 8th inning. 2-1 Tampa Bay lead. And Ronnie, Diego Castillo never afraid to use that breaking ball, and it can be devastating.
He isn't, but he still brings 97 miles an hour with the fastball, also with a lot of movement. The Tampa pen has inherited 12 runners in the postseason. No one has scored.
Inside the numbers presented by DraftKings. So Castillo is on. Cash tried to get Loop through the 7th. It did not work. And here is Yuli Gurriel. He's walked twice with men on base. 0 for 1 tonight. A struggling hitter. Baseball has a way of delivering those redemption moments, though. And Gurriel's got one right here. Tying run at third. Go ahead run at second with 1 away. Gurriel on the first pitch. Up the middle. Ranging over. Backhanded loud throw to first. And a double play on the first pitch by Castillo. The Tampa Bay Rays get out of the mess. Lau backhands it, steps on it, throws it to first to get the double play. Easy pickings for Castillo. Still 2-1 Rays.
Well, the shift was on, and Gurriel, who's been struggling, jammed by that sinker inside, and watch the play by Lau. Not only to make the backhand, stop on a dime, and make the throw. They've had a few key double plays during the season, none bigger than this one.
Dusty Baker, watching this unfold, can only drop his head. Bases loaded, 1 out, inning over. So now the Astros back in their bullpen. Brooks Raley will take the mound here as we play in the bottom of the 8th inning. Rays still lead 2-1. Yandy Diaz leads off. You know, we've been talking about that area in front of home plate, and I think the marine layer is kind of settling in, and that watered down area, that area took a lot of sting off that ball off the bat of Yuli Gurriel, whose struggles continue.
And that's a manager right there, guys, that look, he wants him. He's got so much confidence in him, you know, and I'm sure knowing Dusty, the type of managers, this is when he breaks out. And so it's more of frustration for him, too.
Yeah, he's pulling for him so hard.
Diaz takes a ball low to Kevin Cash. He's pushing all the chips to the middle, going with a guy who hadn't pitched in 12 days. And obviously, he's not comfortable right now with his better relievers who had so much of the workload in the division series, especially game 5. But now Loop's got his San Diego outing, pitched in the wild card series, but his outing at Petco, and he survived courtesy of that man, Diego Castillo, who can pitch all day, every day, according to the Rays. Just one pitch for Castillo to get that double play ball to get out of the inning. And 2 key double plays. Remember the line out by Tucker in the 4th inning with 2 on and nobody out. Bouncing ball in the hole. Correa backhands, throws it, and it is not in time. Diaz, even with a bad wheel, that hamstring injury, was sniffing a hit, and he beats it out for an infield single. Heck of a play by Correa, though.
That bad heel heal itself. Bad wheel heal itself sometimes when you smell that hit.
Correa had to go all the way in the hole, and you can see the strength of his arm to even have a chance at first base. Just beat it out, and now he's going to get a pinch runner for him. Take it to the house.
go put it on ice.
Yep.
It was a great play by Correa. Just couldn't quite get it there in time. No challenge. Foot on bag. Good call over at first base. Jeff Nelson with that call. So lead man on. Joey Wendell is going to pinch run for Yandy Diaz. Very fast runner. Excellent base runner. And here's Hunter Renfroe. His 4th at bat of the night, and anybody but Framber Valdez will be just fine with Hunter Renfroe. He struck him out 3 times.
Another lefty, though. Brooks Raley, who took the loss for the Astros in game 3 of that series against the A's.
Well, if I'm Renfroe here after 3 strikeouts, I'm looking whether it's that slider, curveball, something in, and at some point see if I can put a good swing on it.
Big swing. Josh James loosening in the Houston bullpen. A lot of inexperience in the Astros bullpen. Ryan Presley, their closer now. Got a ton of injuries in their bullpen as well.
Well, a big part of that bullpen the last few years for this team has been Will Harris, who signed a free agent contract with the Washington Nationals.
Harris and Colin McHugh left via free agency. Brad Peacock had a shoulder injury. Davinsky had an elbow injury. Joe Smith opted out this season. And their closer, Roberto Osuna, an elbow injury that might require surgery. And yet the Astros have been slugging their way through the postseason in the American League, arriving here to the championship series with a lot of offense. There's a called strike 3. Renfroe strikes out. Out number 1. And the first strikeout of the game for Raley.
Renfroe is going to be seeing curveballs in his sleep tonight.
All night. And of course, you know, that was the perfect one. Backdoor, bottom part of the zone.
Does that mean he's never going to wear a microphone again for us?
I just said don't even ask him.
Well, what he did have was great.
He called his shots in the outfield. He just needed to do it more at the plate tonight.
Wow.
Strike 1 to Adames. We do appreciate him doing that, and his team is leading Astros scored first, home run by Altuve in the first. Nothing since. They've had some chances. Adames with 2 walks his last 2 trips to the plate. Bounced into a double play first time up. Hey, steal a base, steal a taco is back. If someone steals a base this World Series, Taco Bell's letting all of America steal a free Doritos Locos Tacos. Steal a base, steal a taco only at Taco Bell. Wendell, a base stealing threat. No balls, 2 strikes account with 1 away. And a check on Joey Wendell.
Yeah, Rayleigh's got a good move. I don't even think that's his best move. That's just to keep him close.
Guessing the move, guys, Wendell stays in, plays third, moves Brasso
to first base.
To first. Wendell came in for Yandy Diaz, who started this game at first base. And in the dirt, Maldonado keeps it close. It's not just the fact that he blocks the ball, it's how fast he gets to it. Any idea that you can run there, and he eliminates that notion.
It's the most amazing things about catchers is that they tend to be big people, but they're so quick. They can't run fast, but they're very quick at getting to the ball their first 5-10 feet.
Native of Puerto Rico, is a great lineage of world-class catchers from Puerto Rico. Maldonado's idol was Yadier Molina and all the Molina brothers, but especially Yadier. As a swing and a miss, Adames strikes out. Back-to-back Ks for Brooks Raley. 2 outs in the inning after the infield hit.
It's more of a hanging breaking pitch that he just swung through. And this is kind of how the Rays can win games too. They can strike out 13 times and still be winning 2-1.
Yeah, and you look back, I mean, look, the Astros, they've out-hit them 8-6. They've had 9 guys left on base. They've had plenty of opportunities. They just have not got the big hit.
59 consecutive victories for the Rays when they lead after 7. That's the longest active streak. It goes back to last season, July 27th of 2019. That's when that streak began, with a dominant bullpen. And they're not using their 8 pieces, at least not up until Castillo, but they still lead it. Here's Manuel Margot now with 2 away. Astros in the 9th inning, scheduled to hit the designated hitter Diaz. Maldonado after that, 8 and 9, and then back to the top of the order in Springer. Castillo threw just 1 pitch to get that double play in the 8th. They'll try to give him a 5-out save here tonight, I would imagine.
And we'll see, probably, I would imagine, in the 9th we might see a Josh Reddick sighting.
You could see either Diaz or Maldonado. The Astros are carrying 3 catchers, so there are pinch hit options coming. Ooh, Margot turns one around. That's down the left field line, but foul. Yikes, man, way up there, but well out in front of it. He's got a couple of homers this postseason. Had one in the wild card series, then hit one against the Yankees in the division series.
I was going to say, showing some power here in the postseason. Only 1 home run all year.
Trying to will it fair.
Manuel Margot traded from San Diego to the Rays. Both of these teams are chock full of reclamation stories. Raley would certainly be one for the Astros, pitching his last 5 seasons as a starter in Korea. That's foul down the right field line. Raley started his year with the Cincinnati Reds. Pitched in 4 games, then got designated for assignment. Houston was signing anybody they could find with all of their injuries in their pitching core. And they signed Raley. He's a native Texan from Uvalde, Central Texas. He's been great for him this year. Margot down the right field line. That is going to slice foul. Just foul. Margot didn't run. And that ball was foul by maybe a foot and a half.
Yeah, I think it ended up a little closer than he thought. He thought it was going to continue to tail. Looks like it didn't have that much, but yeah, that was a lot closer than he made it look.
You saw him. He hit his helmet with his fist like knucklehead. Get caught as a spectator.
Well, Wendell was flying. He was thinking about scoring there.
He's always flying.
Plays hard every day, every moment. 3-2 now. So full count, 2 outs. Wendell will get a head start. Kiermaier due next. Bullpen quiet for the Astros. Rays have been knocking at the door to add on the last 2 innings. Stranded 2 in the 6th. Left 2 men on last inning as Margot fouls it back. Big cut.
Can't be that aggressive if you're Wendell at first base. You have to make sure, and the first base coach will always tell you that. Make sure he throws home.
Brooks Raley. 2 outs, full count, 8th inning. Here he comes. Margot in the air, left field, hooking foul again. What a battle. Incredible at bat going here with Margot.
Wendell's getting the sprints in.
He's seen 8 pitches. Wendell's been off and running on the last 3, and now Margot will see pitch number 9 here. See what he has in mind. Wendell goes. Margot takes ball 4. 9-pitch walk for Manuel Margot. First and second now with 2 outs. And the left-handed Kevin Kiermaier coming up. That's Strom on his way out.
Remember, they got first upcoming games.
Game 2 tomorrow. Be on the air at 4:07 Eastern. That'll be a 1:07 local start here in San Diego. Fox starts their coverage with the NLCS tomorrow for game 1, and then times to be announced for Tuesday. You were saying, Ron?
I don't know what I was saying. No, I was saying in the 5th inning. In the 5th inning, it looked like the Astros are going to get through, but a big 2-out hit from Zunino, looking the same from Kiermaier, who has 2 doubles in this game tonight.
Yeah, that's the one hit they've had. 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position, but the biggest hit of the night.
Saw Josh James down there. He'd been throwing fully loose, ready. Gets a few tosses in, and now I'm sure he'll see the next hitter if Kiermaier should reach. That's Wendell at second base. Margot, after a 9-pitch battle, draws the walk. He's at first. Astros will have 8, 9, and 1 coming up in their order in the 9th. Kevin Kiermaier. Oh, 0-1. Had his mind made up. This is the 25th pitch here for Raley. Rays kind of game right here. Feels very similar to Game 5 against the Yankees. 2-1. A strike. Kiermaier down now. 1-2. Raley working hard to get through this inning and strand more runners. And if the Astros do come back to win this game, the Rays will certainly look at these missed opportunities. 1-2. Kiermaier takes the ball. 2-2 now.
Yeah, imperative for the Astros to get out of this inning without giving up a run. Castillo is so tough. You feel like, okay, we might be able to get one on a hanging something, a couple hits, but to have to feel like you have to get 2 runs, it's got to feel almost impossible.
Changing the signs up here. Kiermaier with 2 doubles. Pulled one down the right field line in the 3rd, and then slapped one to the opposite field down the left field line in the 7th.
That was with 2 strikes, so anything away, that's his approach.
2 on, 2 out, 2-2 pitch. Now it goes full. And again, traveling time for these base runners. They'll be on the move.
Kiermaier's taking some good at bats, hasn't he?
He is, and as a pitcher here, Ron, everything away as you've seen. Do you take a chance and throw that fastball in? If we've seen him pull anything, it's been off speed.
I think he should fill the ball down where he got a strike earlier in the count.
Moment of truth right here. Can't imagine that Raley would continue on in this inning. He does not retire Kiermaier with James ready. High pitch count here for Raley. 3-2, 2 outs. Runners go. Jam shot, little pop up, and Correa makes the play for the out to end the inning. The Rays strand 2. Astros down a run. Castillo back on the mound as we go to the 9th in Game 1. You're watching the 2020 American League Championship Series on TBS. It's presented by Geico. 9th inning, Game 1. Rays up 2-1. And changes for Tampa Bay as we go to this 9th. Joey Wendell stays in. He'll play 3rd base. And that moves Mike Brasso over to 1st. Diego Castillo, 1 pitch to get a double play to end the 8th. And it's Aledmys Diaz who will lead off. And if you're Dusty Baker here, Frenchie, what's your move moving forward? 8-9-1.
Well, you see Josh Reddick on deck. Same situation, Game 3 in L.A. And Dusty did the same exact thing. Let Diaz hit and pinch hit Maldonado.
Astros carrying 3 catchers.
Diaz, the designated hitter. He takes a ball at 98. It's 2 balls, no strikes. As good as Diego Castillo was against the Yankees in Game 5 with 2 scoreless innings, struck out 4 in those 2 innings and took him to the finish line. He did have an outing early in that division series where the 2nd inning wasn't pretty, Ron. The 1st inning he was dominant, came back out and couldn't throw a strike, and didn't last long in his 2nd inning.
He didn't last long. He's now thrown 69 pitches. This is his 4th game in 6 days. He was asked to get 6 outs in Game 5 for the save, asked to get 5 outs tonight.
Kevin Cash going with Curtis, Thompson, and Loop. Castillo had to clean it up, but it took him only 1 pitch to get out of that bases loaded 1-out jam. 2 balls and a strike on Aledmys Diaz. Has homered in this postseason. And a swing and a miss. There's that breaking ball you're talking about, Ron. I mean, it just, you crank up for the 98-mile-an-hour fastball and you got no chance.
Sometimes it breaks straight down, sometimes straight across. Great spin every single time. Diaz, to me, is still up in this situation because he has the power to crank one and tie the game.
Absolutely. And that was a pitch that he got. Swung right through it.
See what it gives him. 2-2. And that's in the air to left field, and there to make the play is Margot. He was fooled on it, but he barreled it up. But Diaz is out, 1 away here in the 9th inning. Like a tennis backhand, he just kind of served it out there. Oh,
Yeah, got him out in front, so even though he hit it somewhat on the barrel, had no power on it. Great pitch. Same pitch he just threw, except that one a little bit lower, a little bit farther outside of the zone.
You could see Diaz talking to the man on deck, George Springer. He was asking about the depth of the slider. I'm guessing it gave him that little downward sign. Is it across or is it down? Here's Josh Reddick now, pinch hitting.
Now all of these hitters have faced Castillo before, but not this year because of the truncated season and where teams are playing in their own specific region.
2-1 game. It's been that way since the Rays scored in the 5th on a Mike Zunino 2-out RBI single. Framber Valdez pitched beautifully for the Astros tonight, 6 innings. Had 8 strikeouts. Arozarena's homer tied it. That was in the 4th, and then the RBI by Zunino. The 1-0. A swing and a miss. Boy, it just made him look bad. Castillo gets more swings like that than most.
He's got a lot of movement on his pitches. He has a lot of movement in his motion. Has a lot of arms and legs coming at you.
Well, and watching him face Giancarlo Stanton in Game 5 tonight, difference too, he's got a couple different sliders. He's got the one you saw that struck out Stanton, kind of backed up a little bit more up, and then like that one that he just threw Reddick sharp and down in the zone.
1 ball, 1 strike. 2-1. Much different story for Houston against Tampa Bay tonight as they rough their way through the division series against the Oakland A's, winning in 4. Those two teams combined for 24 home runs. Had 3 on average a game, did the Astros against the A's, and scored over 8 runs a game. A first inning home run by Altuve, the only run on the board so far. Reddick hits a bullet back up the middle, base hit. Josh Reddick with a single with 1 out, and the Astros get a man on, the tying run, and the top of the order coming up. They will pinch run here for Reddick.
Well, he laid off that tough slider after swinging 1-1, then got a fastball, hammered it.
Big hit. And there is hope on that Astro dugout. Miles Straw, the very speedy pinch runner, carries the tying run. And now you get into the pedigree of the Astros. Here comes George Springer. 1 out of 4 tonight. Singled in the 3rd. Couple of homers this postseason for Springer.
When you see him stick with the hard stuff there, Springer can mash off speed stuff somewhat in the zone. So be interesting to see if Castillo sticks with that 2-seamer, or if he does throw him that slider, it's got to be the good one down.
I just wonder if Straw would try to steal a base in a spot like this.
One of the toughest things to do in the game, isn't it? Steal a base when everyone knows you're trying to.
And you're coming off the bench.
And you got a guy at the plate that can hit a 2-run homer.
A lot of hands in there.
Yeah, so maybe you should just stay still.
Maybe stay put.
Concentrate on scoring on a double if there's one.
0-1. Springer lays off, takes a strike. He buckled him. No balls, 2 strikes now.
That's the good one, Ron. He can't do anything with that.
Perfect spot. What'd you say before the game? There's 6 of these Astro players with 200 or more plate appearances. That's got to mean something in the 9th inning.
Here's the 0-2. Oh, he just played Pepper. Little roller, going to be a tough play, and Brasso finds Castillo. Heck of a play on both ends. It's an out, the 2nd out of the inning, but the tying run now at 2nd. You know, starting pitchers They do this a lot. They get over to first base. Relievers, it's a bit of a wild card getting to first base on a play like this.
Well, right when you saw this, I had base hit written all over it. Rossell got way off the bag, and as you said, Diego, great job having thought ahead to get over there and
Not
get
an
to
easy
first.
play.
No.
If you didn't have Straw, the play for a first baseman is at second base. But he's so fast, you didn't have a play there. So a heads-up play by everyone. You can see now Castillo, he'll take some time after that sprint over to first base.
1 out away, Castillo from a Game 1 victory. Altuve has got a chance to drive in the tying run with a base hit. Anything hits the outfield grass, Straw would score. And Altuve's home run in the first inning put him on the board. A long ball here gives him the lead. Boy, what a ball game tonight. Altuve takes a 98-mile-an-hour heater right down the middle for strike one.
He went right after him to get ahead. One thing you can't appreciate with Altuve, his ability. He's a bad ball hitter. He can put into play some of the nastiest pitches.
And he might have sold out off speed right
That's
there
right.
for that slider, the way he took that first pitch.
Never had a hit. 0 for 6 against Castillo. No balls, 1 strike. Tying a run at second base and Straw. Oh, what a pick back there by Zunino. Like a first baseman. Keep Straw at second base. That means something too. He's standing at third with 2 outs. Makes you a little more apprehensive on the mound to throw a wild pitch. Coming right down to the end. Both teams on that top rail.
We're going to see more games like this. Feels like it.
Astros eliminated Tampa Bay last year in the division series in 5. 1 ball, 1 strike. Oh, Altuve just late. I mean, right off the knuckles. 1 and 2 the count. Oh, he's doing all he could to try to put a bat on it. Best arm in the Rays outfield, right field, Hunter Renfroe, but they all throw it well. Margot, Kiermaier, Renfroe.
Man, with 2 strikes now, Straw, I mean, he's going to have a massive lead there going. And you can see Altuve battling right there, almost, as I said, scared of that slider, really.
Game on the line right here. Castillo deals, and a swing and a miss. He struck him out, and that's the ball game. Diego Castillo, back-to-back games. He closes out, finished off the Yankees on Friday, and secures Game 1 of this championship series here tonight. 2-1 final score. The Tampa Bay Rays take Game 1 of this ALCS. What a ball game.
Arozarena with the home run. Zunino with the big RBI in the 5th inning. And gutsy 5 innings for Snell for the win.
The Astros had so many chances, guys, but I will tell you what, the good teams, the great teams, find a way to win ball games like that, and that's what Tampa did tonight.
A slider for the strikeout. No team won more 1-run games than the Tampa Bay Rays this year, and they win a 1-run game here tonight in Game 1 of this ALCS. Now, there were some moments in this game, fellas, when the Astros had a chance, but they made some plays. The first big play was a pickoff. Springer officially caught stealing, 2 on nobody out. This was a huge moment. A line drive out by Tucker. That was 2 on nobody out. Got 2 outs there. And then this, the play of the game, with the bases loaded, the 4-3 double play.
The whole field changed when Kyle Tucker went into that double play. Kind of got the Rays back in it. Got Blake Snell calmed down.
Well, the man had a front row seat and drove in the go-ahead run. Mike Zunino standing by with Lauren Shahadi.
Yeah, Mike, you ever feel spoiled by your defense on full display?
Yeah, it's one of those things that we take pride in our pitching and our defense. it comes up big for us today. Got us out of some jams, and you know, we work hard on it. It's good for it to show.
Very first pitch in the 5th after a full count in your first at bat. Was the plan be aggressive early?
Yeah, I mean, he had his sinker working. His breaking ball was really sharp. So it was one of those things where, you know, with the guy in scoring position, I was trying to get something up in the zone and was lucky to get a fastball and find a hole even with the shift.
Snell made you work a little bit back there. How did he settle in as the game went on?
Good. You know, it took him a little bit to find his rhythm, but he did great. You know, he went as deep as he could, and I think it was over 100 pitches, but kept us right in that big, in this game after that home run by Altuve was big for us.
Congrats, Mike.
Thanks, guys.
Brian.
All right, Lauren, thank you. Mike Zunino, he's been in that spotlight a few times in this postseason, coming over from the Mariners to the Rays. You saw their team record when he catches 17-4. And Mike Zunino delivers the go-ahead hit in the 5th inning. Castillo gets the final 5 outs. And he closes the door on the Houston Astros in Game 1. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back to put the finishing touches on this one from San Diego as the Rays win tonight.